sent to burn. Nowadays they've been calling, telling me soon gonna be my turn. Head down, walk with reason, know that when the daylight dies, I'm gonna have to face my demons. Life of sin and a life of lies. The devil's gonna come when the sun goes down. The devil's gonna come when the sun goes down. The devil's gonna come when the sun goes down. The devil's gonna come when the sun goes down.
Welcome to The Descent. Who wants to do the recap?
Well, I missed the session, so as tradition prescribes. Okay. There was actually quite a bit that happened in the 3.5 hour session, but I'll try to condense it. So, the session opens up. We're getting ambushed by gnolls. The combat with the gnolls is very rough. Tanis and August both go down at different points, but August did a clever casting of Sanctuary on Tanis, and Vin just got to heal August in time, and London was like Zephyr striking and sharpshooting all over the place. So with all of that, we managed to win the day, and it kind of ends with Tanis tearing the last gnoll straight in two with his sword. Later on, Ophelia and London find a Hellrider's badge and badges from the Order of the Companion Knights, along with white cultist masks in the area where the gnolls were. London is kind of interested in one of these Hellrider badges, but after he sees it, that it belonged to like a newly minted knight, he loses interest. It's not that Hellrider he's been searching for. A little bit later on, as we make camp, we then discover something else about London, a kind of secret he's been hiding from us. He has a baby black dragon named Django in his possession, and it's gotten free from his bag, and he's like wrangling it, and it's like chasing after these fireflies in the camp. And most of the fists in our group we're like pretty okay with him having this dragon, but we're gonna have to do something about it. Like Ophelia suggests, like getting paperwork done when we get to Baldur's Gate, because that will not fly if we're just running around with a dragon. Then a little bit later on, the same night, Vin finally identifies Tanis's golden pendant, but she tells him that it's just a magical focus, basically. It's not that special, a little bit magical. But later on, Tanis then has this conversation with Mosif Malhamadi, and he learns a lot more from that conversation. Mosif starts kind of giving him a history lesson and talking about jinn and genies and how they basically founded his entire country, Kalimshan. There was a jinn named Kalim who basically created his country, and there's a whole legend about it. And through the conversation, Tanis basically realizes that his pendant could be somehow bound to a genie potentially. It is a perfectly good explanation for the magical power that's coming from his pendant. So he kind of just turns that over, and he agrees to meet Mosif in Little Kalimshan once we get to Baldur's Gate. And speaking of Baldur's Gate, the next day during travel, the caravan crests over a hill, and there Baldur's Gate is. We're still about a day's travel away, but the city is so massive. You know, I think like biggest city on the Sword Coast, Jay said. So it's just like you can, you know, it's like basically that is the destination, that is the safe haven that we and the refugees are trying to get to. Later on, Ophelia approaches Lysanda Loden and Matron Brithwin, and she gives them the gold we got from killing the gnolls, mainly to help the children along. So that was a very, I think, heartwarming thing that Ophelia did. We continue to approach Baldur's Gate, and eventually, after some time, we get to Rivington, which is kind of like, that's the gateway to Baldur's Gate. It used to be a small fishing community, but it's overrun with refugees now. Like, there's this little girl who comes up to us, or these two little girls, and they ask us for, you know, a little silver to get past the Basilisk Gate to actually get into the city. And then, of course, we watch them, and after August very nicely gives them some money, they ask someone else for money. You know, that's how it is. It's rough out there. And as we keep going, we approach the Basilisk Gate, and sadly, we have to leave the refugees behind because we got to get through quickly. You know, we have like urgent news. But as we approach the gate, we see green-cloaked figures who we realize are Hell Riders, and they're being detained by the Flaming Fist. And kind of in this moment of almost like irony, London realizes that the Hell Riders that detained us a few days back, this is basically the same situation, but in reverse. But August basically talks him down and is like, you know, don't make a move now. There's nothing we can do. And the Hell Riders get detained and they're taken away for questioning. But then we do see a friendly face at the document checking station where everyone's passing by to get through the gate. And this guy, Ilithar Loam, I think that's how you say his name, he recognizes us. He's a fellow Fist. He's like a green guy, like I think just joined. And he basically gives us a huge rundown on all the developments that have been happening in the city. And the best way to summarize it is that Duke Ravengard being gone has caused a huge power vacuum. The next person in line, Blaise Portier, who is Duke Portier's daughter, she is away in Cholt, so which makes the power vacuum even worse. And there's a huge power grab happening. Tons of people are out to like there's this one guy, I forget his name, but he like proclaimed himself as the new marshal.
Yeah, he's what's his name? The Brute.
Yeah, the Brute. Yeah, he has like a whole like reputation. But basically, Ilithar tells us that the guy we should speak to is this guy named Blaise Zaj. Blaise Zaj is basically one of the only like reasonable, level-headed like commanding officers who's left, and he, I believe, is in charge of Worm's Rock right now, which is the fortress, the Flaming Fist fortress that is just past.
He is in charge of the Basilisk Gate, and he is a flame. But you got just it's perfect enough. It's good enough.
Oh yeah.
He's a flame.
He's a flame.
And he is in charge of Basilisk Gate, not Worm's Rock.
He's in charge of Basilisk Gate. Got it.
Close enough.
Okay.
Just correcting your notes. That's all.
Yep. I think the notes were right. I'm just trying to get through them quicker.
You're doing a great job.
But so then, right when we're about to get through, there's basically a riot situation that starts to occur. And our unit starts to try to take control of the situation. But that is when this guy, Flame Zaj, comes out, and basically he really takes control. And you know, there's like a wall of fists, and they basically put the riot down pretty quickly. And then we take the opportunity to go over and introduce ourselves, our rank, to Zaj. Obviously, August is the one mainly communicating with him. And August basically tells Zaj what happened, and Zaj, like many of the other Fists, had no idea what actually happened in Elturel. And when Zaj hears what happened, you know, of course, he tells us to keep the information very close to us, like don't tell anyone else, and meet him in his office at 0900 hours the next day. And so with that, he leaves us, and then we go through the Basilisk Gate and enter the eastway of Baldur's Gate.
That's right. And that is where we pick up. So we open, you know, the descent, right? Fade to black, fade back in. And our characters, you guys, are walking through the Basilisk Gate into the lower city as the sun is setting in the late afternoon. You guys, map. Okay. The streets, you guys know all of this information already, but being back home, the streets of the lower city have a perpetual fog that clings to the cobblestone paths. The narrow alleys flanked by towering stone buildings that loom overhead, their upper stories almost touching blocking out much of the natural light. The air is heavy with the stench of refuse, a testament of the crowded conditions and the frequent dumping of chamber pots from high windows. Above head, laundry hangs from lines like impoverished banners between the buildings. Ragged beggars, huddled in alcoves and against walls, watch passerby with hollow eyes, their pleas lost to the sounds of distant shouts and the scurrying of rats through the gutters. Shadows darken corners and narrow alleys, providing a veil for many unscrupulous dealings and illicit affairs. However, despite the gloom, the streets teem with life. A mix of merchants hawking their wares, urchins darting between legs, and weary travelers clutching their belongings tightly. There is an undeniable pulse, a heartbeat that resonates through the grimy cobblestones. This city, for all its hardships and shadows, is home to its people, each finding their own way through the maze of life in the City of Blood. And we showed a montage of all of these things that I described as you guys are walking into the gate. And then we pull back in on the group of you. It's late afternoon. What would you like to do? First time being back in the city in like 10 days. Better part of a month.
I don't think I'll ever get used to calling this place home.
How long have you been in the city for? Before you joined the Fist?
Not long. The reason for coming here was to join the Fist. A year tops.
It grows on you.
I can certainly see something was growing, but I'd suspect it to be mold or other.
The smell is more charming when you associate it with home, I'll admit.
Do you have orders for us, Gauntlet, till the fire?
Not right now. We're off duty. We just need to listen to Zod and rest. Although there might be one more order of business we have to do, and that's get a goddamn drink at the Blushing Mermaid.
Damn right you are.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
So, orders are orders.
So you guys want to head towards the Blushing Mermaid?
Sure. I imagine
Very
it's not
cool.
too far.
No, it's not. It is a it probably is a regular place for you guys to go to. It's pretty common for Fist to go there, especially from the Eastway Fist Station. However, there is a little passage that I pulled from a book that I'm using to like get Baldur's Gate stuff, and I want to read it to you. It says, "No wise person walks the streets of Baldur's Gate or enters one of its taverns without a weapon or an armed escort. Anyone who has lived in the city for more than a 10-day knows this from experience. Taverns might appear safe at a glance, but they are among the most dangerous places in Baldur's Gate, full of alcohol, tempting coin, and unscrupulous people. Volothamp Gedarm, a notorious raconteur known for his tavern reviews, encapsulate his Baldur's Gate experience as, quote, hard on the stomach, especially when someone sticks a knife in there. Actually, I'll do it in his voice. It's hard on the stomach, especially when someone sticks a knife in there. Customers are expected to look after themselves when fights break out, and one shouldn't expect any help or sympathy from the Flaming Fist. Tavern murders are very common, and usually end with the poor victim being dragged away and either left in an alley to be picked clean by urchins, then eaten by rats, or just tossed in the Grey Harbor. Just wanted to read that to you guys. I thought it was pretty interesting to learn about the taverns of Baldur's Gate and how regularly people get murdered there.
That actually sounds more like living in the outskirts, like on your own, than I anticipated. This is like maybe not all too unfamiliar to London then.
That just sounds like Detroit to me.
So,
Man.
you guys walk not too far away from the Basilisk Gate. It's almost in view. To the Blushing Mermaid. It is a 3-story building of patchwork of old timber and salt-stained stone that stands resilient against the coastal winds. Above the entrance, a faded sign creaks in the breeze, depicting a blushing mermaid with a cheeky grin. The windows, though grimy and cracked, glow with a warm, inviting light. And you guys head in.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Stepping into the Blushing Mermaid, you are immediately enveloped by the scent of salt, ale, and sweat. The wood-paneled walls adorned with nets, shells, and ship's wheels. The centerpiece and namesake of this tavern, it's an inn as well, is the life-size wooden mermaid hanging above the reception desk. Nailed to her body are dozens of blackened and withered hands. Grim souvenirs from those who tried to leave without settling their tab. There is a tap room that is manned by a burly bartender with a perpetual scowl. He serves drinks in a mismatch of mugs. I will note that everyone, all the staff in this bar don't tell you their names. Like, they just go by bartender, barmaid, stuff like that. Like, the only person that actually has a name is at the reception. Let's see if I have like a... No, I don't. It's a guy named Jeff. None of them own the tavern. Nobody really knows who owns it, but everybody else is just like barmaid or bartender, but there's Jeff at the front desk. I guess he's the one that chops off the hands and puts them, but he's a really nice guy. But yeah,
you guys remember the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie when they go to Tortuga, I think, and it's just a fucking gong show?
Yes.
That seems what this is like.
I'm gonna pull you guys over to a Blushing Mermaid, and I'll put some characters on there. Here you go. Tanis, and Ophelia, and London, and Vin.
Oh.
You guys find yourself in the Blushing Mermaid.
London would go secure a corner table with a good view of the room and not a lot of people at our back.
Absolutely. You could definitely go
back here.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's perfectly fine.
Good deal, London. I'll grab some drinks. Everyone good with, I suppose, whatever they have on tap?
I'll take one of whatever you're giving me, please.
Do they even take orders in this place?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's ale, sometimes it's not ale. Hopefully we'll go acquire drinks for the group.
Okay. You approach this burly bartender. He grunts at you.
Good day, barkeep. Four of your finest mugs, please.
He looks around, pulls out like he pulls out a little china cup and like a metal brass tankard and a wood tankard, and like he just pulls out like completely different things and pours ale in all of them, slides them across to you, and he'll ask you if you wanted to start a tab or pay now.
We'll start a tab.
Okay. Your drinks are served and brought to your friends.
She will return with the drinks, taking the largest for herself.
Sure.
Thanks, Ophelia. Are you sure we're not going to get into a combat this episode?
I'll look at the 4 glasses she puts in front of us, and then look at the party and count 5, and be like,
she changed her. She ordered 5.
Did she? Okay,
Yeah.
I only heard 4. Missed that part. Yeah, I'll just grab like one of them. Doesn't matter for the size.
London will take the smallest one.
The little teacup.
Perfect.
You will note that in one corner there is probably over here. There is a group of sailors who are gambling and talking very loudly. There is just like a bunch of like in this back corner over here. There's a bunch of dudes that like have on hoods, and they're like leaned over the table and talking so quietly. There's like 4 dudes. One of them's like a half orc.
If I lean back real far in my chair, can I try to
Listen in on what they're saying?
Get a whiff of what they're spilling?
Sure, make a perception check.
Anything cool?
Sure.
Perception. I can do that.
Oh,
really well with a 21.
You actually get both parts of the thing. So, as you notice them as you went to sit down. And the first thing that you noticed about them was each of them wore a gold ring on one of their fingers with a red triangle engraved in it. And I need you to make a history check. Yeah, there's just enough. That is the symbol of the guild. The sort of thieves guild that...
Oh, the thieves guild.
Yeah, that almost basically runs Baldur's Gate in the shadows. But they're just called the guild. But it appears to be a bunch of guild members. And as you lean back in your chair, you do overhear a little bit of their conversation. The half-orc is like... someone is stepping on our toes getting refugees in. And the other one will sort of say, 9 Fingers won't be happy about this. And they sort of hush back and forth talk about this.
Do we think we're putting all our support behind Blazorge then? He seems to be at least semi-level-headed. He was trying to keep the peace after all.
We can do what you do. Go ahead.
Certainly don't plan on throwing in with Beldroth.
Do we have a choice, Gauntlet, if he is the acting marshal and he gives us orders? Are we not expected to do as he commands?
What's the official thing of secession from Marshall? Like, is him claiming to be Marshall at any sort of legitimacy?
Well...
Or is that a reason for me to, like...
No, there's no reason for him to just be like, I'm Marshall. There is, like, processes to handle these things. And I imagine when the Flaming Fist first started, I imagine if you looked at the rule book, there's some method, right? But nowadays, it's handled by the city. Like, the city is supposed to dictate who the Marshal is. Just because they're so intertwined now that it's like you can't separate the Flaming Fist from Baldur's Gate. That basically, like, the Council of Peers would be, like, investigating it and looking into who they should put up for the position of Marshal.
Well, I reckon that once Blaze Portier gets back, all will be set right. I assume she'll be made Marshal now.
Who knows?
That could be.
I was just going to say, who knows on that? There's been apparently she's in Charlton. Never even heard of that place.
No, best not to assume any of this is permanent. I have no interest in submitting my fealty to a petty tyrant.
even without the rank of Marshal, Ablaze still outranks us by quite a few pegs. Even if he is knocked back down to his original rank, we're still under oath to follow his commands.
I mean, all oaths aside, I'd be much more comfortable following Lazorge than the brute.
Then we just avoid the brute until chance puts us in his path.
Does that mean we just lay low until morning 0900 when we have to meet Zorge?
Seems wise.
Best not to cause a ruckus minutes after stepping into the city.
Go ahead, Ben. No.
I was just gonna say, seems like we're the only ones around here who even have any idea of what happened to El Terrell. Us and those El Riders that they detained.
I mean, there's a lot of people outside that know what happened, but there's not much they can do right now with the state of things.
In terms of non-refugees, I don't even know how many made it out of the city alive. I know things are in a bit of a state of disrepair right now, but at some point I would like to try and find the Hell Riders. I just fear for Hamilton.
Who is this Hamilton? Before see a second black dragon that's gonna come sneaking out of your bag in the middle of the night.
London will look around and be like,
Actually, other people are more interested in their own conversations.
hope so, but a place like this, you never know. But Hamilton is a Hell Rider. He's one I met in Idle Glen and took me under his wing, so to speak. I was essentially on my own, but it's actually him who gave me the spell on my back and taught me how to fend for myself, hunt, track, things of the sort. I owe him a great deal.
Well, anyone coming out of Elturel is bound to be a bit suspicious. Is bound to get some suspicion. Anyone coming out of Elturel is bound to get some suspicion on them, but I wouldn't mind getting in contact with someone of the Hellriders.
You had one drink, Ophelia. Jeez.
How large is that mug?
This
It's just a bucket.
It's a bucket.
I think this was supposed to be the pitcher we pour.
The Fist who was arresting the Hellriders claimed that they were to face the judgment of the tribunal. Whenever that happens, we could perhaps try to go back to Worm's Rock, to the dungeon, and try to gain a quick audience with those Hellriders, if we do want to learn more.
At least maybe we can plea our case or their case to Zorge as well when we meet him. Perhaps he would have more influence than us.
The Hellriders are being detained at Worm's Rock, right?
Some of them, if they're found at Worm's Rock, they're being detained at Worm's Rock. If they're found at in the gate, they're being detained in the proper dungeons in the upper city. I reckon somewhere Citadel. The Citadel. I bet Sea Tower has a dungeon too. Just whoever finds them, right?
Worms Rock would be my guess. At the very least, we can argue the case that they aren't saboteurs. At least not that we're aware of.
Who do we think is behind this? He'll say in more of a hushed voice. It has to be something to do with this cult, obviously.
The cultists were fighting to keep people in the city.
Yeah.
And it seems like they were willing to go down with the ship.
And even
So to
after
speak.
that... Oops, sorry, go ahead.
That's it.
That's right, Ophelia. They were attacking people on the road as well.
Mm-hmm. Seems as though they're hunting down anyone certain history within the city. I mean, we found those Hellrider badges and Order of the Companion holy symbols.
And they said that Baldur's Gate would be next.
What does it all mean?
Never even seen those masks before, have any of you?
Have.
Once. Quite a while ago.
Is there a name for this cult?
Ophelia's going to kind of lean in and lower her voice a little. Not that I'm aware of. But these aren't sort of run-of-the-mill ragamuffins running through the street stabbing people. They have to have some power, or at least they did. Whatever I looked into, there were very few people willing to help me back then.
If they are behind all this, I think we'll have a lot of people who are willing to look into it now.
I mean, how long has it been now since the Cult of the Dead 3 tried to pull something big?
3 weeks. 3 10-day.
I mean, canonically, Brendan, if you know the answer to that, then you can know the answer to that. The answer is Baldur's Gate 2, right? Like,
Yeah, like the ball spawn crisis.
yeah.
So that was
That's
100
like
years ago.
the big one, right? Like,
Yeah.
Tanis just said, it's not like they're gone forever.
The Dead 3, like in the history books I read as a girl. Yeah?
I mean, that's the first cult that comes to mind when we're dealing with cultish activity in these parts, but
Well, we're far from knowing, but surely it does check out a little bit.
Can I make a quick religion check to see if I
Wait,
can
you know?
recall the symbology behind the Cult of the Dead 3 and if it resembles the
Sure.
white
Sure.
religion? I don't know why I asked for a religion when I have a negative.
I
one.
definitely want it, though. I would have asked for it.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, I know jack shit about religion. Timur is one of the Dead 3, right? I don't know shit. I rolled a 2.
What's Leviatar, I think?
Yartar.
Ask.
I mean, I don't want a skill dog pile, but
Yeah, please.
I am the cleric.
Yes, please.
Not much better, 8.
No, I mean,
Plus
just,
2.
I guess y'all have the passing knowledge that we have discussed, right? But nothing specific. All right, everybody roll.
Let's see how good of a student
got an
Vin
8.
was.
Oh god, we are not
my
religious.
goodness.
Everyone got an 8. So,
Um,
oh wait, Vin.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Ooh,
Vin
That's
does
8
know a
doubled.
little bit.
What the hell?
So with a 16, Vin, I will give you some information about the dead three. But I have to find it. Yes. Okay. There are 3 evil deities. Their names are Bane, Baal, and Merkel. They are vile, evil, ruthless deities that are said to be long dead. However, even though their gods are dead, their followers their followers still exist. Even though they're claimed to be dead. Their symbology is Bane is a gauntleted black fist, like a spiked gauntleted black fist, or an open hand. Either one is Bane. Just a hand, a black gauntleted hand. Baal is a skull surrounded by droplets of blood in a circle. And Merkel is a skull with a triangle around it. Actually, I have a handout.
Don't know if any of those 3 really look like those masks we saw.
Oh, no, they don't. But another thing, hold up, symbols of the dead. Here we go. Boom, there they are. But what I was gonna say was, Bane is the god of tyranny. Baal is the god of murder, and Merkel is the god of like death and undeath. Mostly like the evil undeath, not like the nice death like Kellamvor. Like the scary shit about death, not like the fun, there's the light, go towards the light kind of death stuff.
Well, perhaps Ultra will have more answers for us then.
Hopefully.
Do we just go back to Sea Tower tonight then?
Eastway Fist Station is where you guys stay.
It's also the consideration we have to make for kind of gesture to Tanis's necklace.
I was gonna go in the morning before we were due to report. 0900's pretty late. I'll have time to. I think I'll have time to go to Little Calimshan before that.
I meant more the contents within.
Oh, yeah, I would love to get that body out. It's probably stinking pretty bad.
It's also evidence. Such needs to see this. Didn't have draconic runes or something.
Zaj told us to hold on to it. I was fully prepared to show him at the gate, but we should. Is his office in the Eastway headquarters or in Worms? Okay,
yeah, he's at the. He's your flame, or like there's like 2 or I think there's 3 or 4. I have all their shit. I'll look it up later. I think there's like 3 or 4 flames, but he's like flame captain. You know what I mean? Like, and then above him is Portier. Portier monitors. So here's the hierarchy as far as the Flaming Fist is concerned. I put a lot of thought into this because there are no good answers. There are a bunch. There is, for each neighborhood, there are a couple of flames, right? Oh, or maybe it's 1 flame per neighborhood. That's what it is. There's 1 flame per district, right? So there's the Eastway. There's a bunch of gauntlets. That's what there is. But the Eastway has a flame. Brampton has a flame. Heapside has a flame. They all have a flame, right? And then a blaze monitors more than 1 flame. And so there's only like 3 flames, 3 or 4 flames.
Or blazes.
Blazes. Thank you. I'm getting them confused too.
Yeah. How many synonyms for fire?
Fire. Yeah, no shit. There's like 3 blazes or 4 blazes. I think one of them's dead now, so 3 left. And then there's 1 flame per neighborhood. And Zodge is the flame for the Eastway. So he's Roland's boss. Oh, that's it. Manips. So there's a bunch of manips. That's it. There's a bunch of gauntlets under each manip, but there's a bunch of manips. Those are the ones that I have a bunch of names for. So the flames do the manips do the gauntlets do the fists. Got it?
Got it.
Okay.
Just want to make sure that his office was in the Eastway.
I know that I went on a whole rant, but I actually thought all this out because there is no answer to this question. So I did like put an answer to it.
Perfect. So yeah, we to be honest, it would be nice to go to the headquarters before I head home and just maybe drop off the body in the evidence locker, although I feel like perhaps a cell might be a little more fitting for a body.
Maybe we should go with you before you just arrive with a body.
It's not that weird for a flaming fist.
No, but the runes carved into it might raise some questions.
We should certainly all be there to explain.
Do we want to go do that now then?
No, we've only had one drink.
I need at least 3 more to fully decompress and, take in everything that's happened over these past 10 days.
Yeah, we also we owe a drink to Roland and the First Company and all the rest of them. Grand Duke.
I suppose you're right. London will go get round 2.
Okay. You grab it from the bartender. He just like mutters, "I'll put it on the tab."
Scooch past you here.
Did you just walk on the table?
Crawling under the table to
Look, I can't go in any further.
All right, near your drinks.
Oh, before I forget, everyone, drop off your traveling equipment once we get back to the Eastwatch. I will get with Gauntlet Greaves. We can exchange our equipment that's worn out.
Do you think you'd have a shield I could use, Ophelia?
I'll certainly ask when I'm there, and I'll look for a new bag as well.
Cheers. Alrighty.
Well, to everyone who was lost, except for Callan, he was a prick.
Cheers.
Cheers.
By the way, when we get the chance, we should stop by my place. My husband is he's working on something for me, and well, I gotta check that he doesn't muck it up.
What is it? You can't just say that and then not tell us.
It's something for my armor. A little addition, you could call it. I'll admit that I kind of want it to be a surprise. But I think it will be very useful for all of us.
Sounds lovely, yeah. While we're in town. You live just on the outskirts, just outside of the upper city, don't you?
That's right. Somewhere near the Gauntlet Gate.
In the steeps. You live in the steeps.
The Steeps. It's the name. Gotta get used to saying that. How would she say? The Steeps.
Well, should we do that today? I personally hate surprises, so I'm eager to see what your husband's been working on.
We could give him a surprise visit.
Sure.
Sure.
I imagine it's almost night. Because it was late afternoon when you guys walked into the city. You know, night might be falling now. Just so you know. And Baldur's Gate is well known for being so nice at night.
For an entourage of 5 well-armed...
Flaming
folks.
Fist? Oh, for sure.
Probably about as safe as it can get.
Yeah. For sure, for sure.
Yeah, the only other order of business I would think we might tend to tonight is maybe getting somebody to preserve the body and the necklace.
I mean, you're meeting with Zodge in the morning.
So yeah, we could take care of it then as well.
Yeah, because
Just-
unless you were planning on like putting it in the dungeon in the Eastway station.
Kind of, yeah. Just like if there was like a cell.
There's holding cells, yeah. It's not like
Yeah.
a dungeon proper, but there's holding cells, yeah.
Usually you'd put evidence in the evidence locker, but this feels a little different.
Is there a morgue somewhere?
Yes. In fact, I think you guys would even know this. That well, maybe August might know this. That if there is any bodies that need to be kept for evidence, they are brought to Candulhallow's Mortuary in Brampton. And they can be held for like the elf woman Mrs. Candulhallow cast gentle repose on them for the watch.
Well, maybe that's more fitting then.
It's a private establishment, but they have worked something out with the Flaming Fist.
Okay, well, perhaps there then.
I suppose we can see to that in the morning then, on our way to Zodge. Does that seem more appropriate?
Well, the
Or
buy's
hours
not
should-
going anywhere.
8 more hours shouldn't change anything.
You know what it is? There's a dog loose in the city. We'll tell him when he gets back. And there's like flaming fists chasing it down. That's funny. Because no animals are allowed in the snow. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
So that's why they're like making a huge effort to get rid of this thing.
Come on, it's like the same size as a peacock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Oh, I gotta tell Will.
Sorry,
Well,
psycho dogs.
No, Will, what it is outside, somehow a dog got into the city. And that's what it's been, is just a bunch of flaming fists trying to chase it down. Like, you're not allowed in here.
Sorry about the barking. They
No,
were going psycho for a
it's
second.
fucking perfect. Very thematic. So, okay, yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. What's up, guys? What are you guys doing?
Pay our tab and head on out.
As you guys are having your conversation, I think the hooded figures are the guys from the guild that Tanis noticed. They're leaving, and they aren't in hushed conversation anymore. And one of them will say to the other, sort of stopping for a brief moment, not purposefully in front of your table, but they just happen to be walking by. And he'll say, "Keep your eyes peeled. Rumor has it a serial killer is on the loose in the city. Some say it's the return of the Pale Patriarch, That murderer that terrorized Blackgate a few years back. And the other one, like, shakes his head and, like, punches him in the arm. It's like, the Pale Patriarch is just an urban legend. Same as the Sickle Man. It's probably just... I don't know. And they just sort of trail back and forth on what it could be. He's like, no, man, that's...
Patriarch?
The Pale Patriarch, yeah. If you want, you can make a history check and see if you know about the Pale Patriarch, as well as the Sickle Man.
8.
You are not from Baldur's Gate.
No.
16.
So, August, you may have heard about the Pale Patriarch. A few years back, there was a sort of Jack the Ripper serial killer in the upper city, who, like, targeted women specifically, stuff like that. But they say that he wore a white cloak, and that's why they called him because it was in the upper city, they assumed that he was a patriarch because of, like, the clothes he would wear and stuff like that. But they called him the Pale Patriarch. As well as the Sickle Man, it's like the Boogeyman. It's like an urban legend that mothers tell their children to not get out of bed in the middle of the night. It's the Boogeyman, but he has a sickle.
I think it's just a red cap.
Yeah, it might be. There might be some truth to that.
After they leave, I'll just kind of lean into the rest of second company and just be like, by the way, when we sat down, I listened to those kind fellows behind us. They said that someone was stepping on their toes to smuggle refugees into the city, which means that I don't really know what it means. But just so you're all aware, there are forces that are bringing those refugees in. If we could find them, then we could perhaps help some of those who need.
Also, if that's the case, then I imagine word of Elturel will spread soon enough.
I have a feeling it'll fall on deaf ears. These folk didn't care about Elturel before it was destroyed. I feel like they're only going to care about it less now that their city has been flooded by its refugees.
Tennis, are you saying that we do want to smuggle the refugees in or not?
Some of them aren't going to last too long in the outer city. It's already rampant with disease before this crisis. And I can't imagine that it's going to be much better for Alyssa to try to give birth in a place that filthy, for the child at least. Not saying we have to get our hands dirty and involved if we don't want to, but
Not sure how much the Fist would meddle in such affairs.
I believe the Fist would be shutting down such affairs, not necessarily aiding them.
The city infrastructure, I'm sure, can only support so many people. I don't know how many additional people we want to be smuggling in as well.
I mean, they're getting into the lower city and to a safer place, but they're still being exploited. I'm sure the guild isn't doing it out of the kindness of their hearts.
I just didn't seem like it was the guild at work, although the guild does sound like they are doing it. There's someone else and their reasons.
we don't get to the bottom of this masked cultist thing, there's not going to be a city left for them to smuggle people into.
Well, fortunately for the gate, we don't have a flying orb of magical unknown power hovering over us, so might be a little harder to destroy it in one fell swoop like they did Elturel.
I hope you're right. I can't even begin to try and say I understand what happened at Elturel, but I hope you're right.
And I mean, what happened in Elturel was, impossible to predict without, probably maybe some incredibly powerful magic, but I mean, we're at least on our toes now. We're here in Baldur's Gate. So if this threat is real, let's see to it that we do what we can about it.
At the very least, we need to warn as many people as we can who would have the power to change it. We just have to trust that the processes and that the people in charge would actually take heed. Though with all these refugees running around and now smugglers bringing more in, it sounds more like a powder keg being built up.
I tend to agree.
Those Hellriders, the Hellriders, they served as the city watch within Elturel, correct? Alongside the Order? I wonder if we were to ask them if there was an uptick in ritualistic murders prior to the destruction of Elturel, we can compare that to any reports by the Fist. If we're seeing an uptick of murders within Baldur's Gate, and see if something is headed our way that no one else has the foresight to see.
That actually sounds like a really good idea.
I'm full of them.
Lennon will drink his beer silently.
Definitely full of something, Tanis. This one's actually a good idea. It would be hearsay, of course, but it's better to know than to question.
I mean, hearsay is still more concrete than just random speculations.
I agree.
Yet another thread we can pull at, I suppose.
So we
Let's
should
be sure
find
to help-
time. I was gonna say we should find time to go to Worm's Rock tomorrow to the cells, speak to some Hellriders before the tribunal declares them guilty and to be executed for the murder of Grand Duke Older Ravengard.
I hope not. I don't even want to think about that.
Somehow I feel like the tribunal is going to be less forgiving and less willing to do a thorough investigation like Jan Arrodell did.
No, but if we can at least sow some doubt and keep some farce in the name of justice being carried out. I mean, those men don't deserve to die, that's for sure.
Okay. I do want to put just you guys can do whatever the fuck you want, and I'm like totally in support of what you're saying. I do want to throw some perspective in here and say that you guys are fists. And this has been ordered by the Ducal Council. So you guys are the very, very, very bottom, and this has been demanded by the very, very, very top.
Yeah, a beat cop versus a Supreme Court.
Now, I'm not saying you guys can't. Like, I'm all in support of you guys doing whatever you think is right. I just want to make it clear that
Fair.
This is a little bit out of your wheelhouse.
I don't think we can stop them from being executed. I just want to talk to them before they are executed.
Absolutely. Hey.
Who knows when that's going to happen?
And yeah, and that's the other thing, right? Is like, this is a big bureaucracy thing, right? So they might be in the holding cells for like another month before they're even see the tribunal. Just to see if they can get any information out of them. You know what I mean?
Welcome to government, baby.
I don't know if Zorge will grant us audience with them, but we should try.
Perhaps
Honestly,
I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say perhaps something coming on behalf of Zorge himself would weigh more than the band of us weighing in.
I was about to say the same. I think our efforts might be more effective if we try and convince Zodge and, Is Beldroth the only blaze in the city? Because Crane is dead, Portier's and Schultz.
No, there's 2 more, but they're like nobodies.
Okay.
They're not important. I think one of them. I don't know where I put this information. Maybe it's here. No. There's the 2 more, but
Sorry.
they're not. They don't command as much presence as Portier and Beldroth do. They are blazes by title. You know what I mean? Like they've been in the fist long enough to just they're almost retired type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
All right, the
All
suspense
right.
is killing me. What's your husband cooking up, Vin?
Well, that lout can't cook for his life. It'll be me. Come on now. We've dallied enough.
Yeah, you guys want to
That's-
head out?
Not without paying our tab.
Do not head
Yeah,
out
I'll
without.
pay for the tab.
So the bill is actually thrown to Jeff, because he handles that kind of stuff. So you guys go up to Jeff. He's this half elf dude. He's got little tiny glasses. He's fairly young. And he's like, well, I hope you had a great time at the Blushing Mermaid. It was good to see you guys. It's me. I'm Jeff.
Good to see you
Chris
too,
made a
Jeff.
fucking face like this isn't Jeff's voice. This is Jeff's voice, Chris.
All right. This is a fitting in a fantasy realm. A dude named Jeff. This is a very apt voice.
Yep. So you
Jeff,
pay.
what a weird name.
You pay.
Yeah.
And what is your name?
Tannis.
Oh,
Other than
and
you,
that's
Jeff.
a normal name.
Where's exactly is the Blushing Mermaid in the city?
It's like right next to the Basilisk Gate.
Next to the Basilisk Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a O with a bunch of umlauts over it too.
Yeah, that is what it is.
There's a silent D in it, like Django.
Here is the Blushing Mermaid.
Oh.
It ends with a GH, like enough.
Anyways, do you pay Jeff?
Yes.
Yes.
How much
Okay.
is it?
Depends how much.
Oh shit! I didn't think about that. Hold on.
We gave all our gold to a bunch of orphans.
I've got some gold.
Oh, I've got
And
some.
it's 30 copper.
Oh,
So 3 silver.
3 silver. All right.
You pay in London?
Lowest rank pays, baby.
Good man.
Rookie's got to carry them shoulder pads.
All right. You square away for Jeff. He says, "Thank you so much for coming. I'll see you guys again."
Right out there, Jeff.
And you make your way out of the Blushing Mermaid. Now, you guys want
Folks
to.
there are so agreeable.
Yeah.
What you didn't notice was the assortment of knives that he has underneath the counter that he uses to chop people's fucking hands off. Okay. God, I love Jeff. And you guys want to make your way where? Toward the steeps?
Going to the steeps.
All right, we head towards the steeps. I have a description of every neighborhood. So the Eastway is home to the Basilisk Gate. It's the city's primary gateway to the outer city and the world beyond. It caters to travelers with a profusion of inns, porters, and caravan supplies. The flow of travelers and strangers, through this neighborhood makes it one of the most dangerous parts of the city, as criminals prey on those unfamiliar with the city without local ties to avenge them. You guys head towards the Steeps, as the most direct route from the harbor to the upper city via Baldur's Gate, the gate itself. The Steeps has a natural advantage in securing business from wealthy travelers, and many of the city's most successful merchants maintain lucrative storefronts along its dramatically steep thoroughfares. That's why it's called the Steeps, because all of it goes uphill, because the upper city is literally higher up than the lower city. This also makes it the lower city neighborhood most likely to be visited by patriarchs, and thus the Steep sees more than its fair share of patrols by the Flaming Fist. Okay. So you make your way towards the Steeps. As you guys are walking through the city, night is upon you. Early night. And you hear the ringing as you're just walking down the road. You hear probably, where is it? Yeah, actually, you guys might actually, oh my god, you might actually pass it. So you guys pass, actually, the Baldur's Mouth Gazette printing house. And as you're passing by, there are people hawking the paper on the street. And it's night is falling. And there's like a little kid on a crate. He's ringing a bell and he's saying, "Last chance to get this 10 days issue. Ding-ding-ding-ding-ding. Elturel Falls. City overrun with refugees. Ding-ding-ding-ding. Patreon missing. Hewn Manor raided in the night. Ding-ding-ding." And it's your last chance to get the paper for this week.
I'll grab one of those if...
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's a silver piece for the paper.
Ooh, that's pricey.
Yeah, it is. But they only make them like once every 10 day or every 2 10 day. It's not on a regular thing.
Ophelia, ding. Gives
Yeah.
it a silver piece.
The boy snatches it up, and there's maybe 6 papers left that he has. And he will hand you one, and I will give you Baldur's Mouth Gazette. Where is it? There it is. Show to players.
Ooh, cool.
That if you click on that picture, it says everything.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy.
Yeah, some of the headlines include, for the audience, some of the headlines include Elturel Falls, refugees flood Baldur's Gate, Parliament of Peers begins discussion of the possibility of a new Grand Duke, city in lockdown, crucial for safety. Also, this isn't like the full articles. I just like briefly summarized what the article would be about and then put it on the newspaper to make it look cool.
You didn't write a whole newspaper, Jay?
No.
God.
Wow.
No, I even wrote like like stupid ones that don't mean anything. City in lockdown, crucial for safety. Patriarch missing. Hewn Manor raided in the night. Harbor fees increase. Duke Van Thamper in support of Beldroth as new marshal of the Flaming Fist. Council still undecided. Murder in Insight Park. Serial killer on the loose. Baldur's Gate is on edge as a string of grisly murders rocks Insight Park. New play premieres at 3 Old Kegs. Duke launches Confraternity of Refugee Relief. And Baldrick's Crate Co. closes doors. And then I found an old London ad and put it at the end. It's an ad for lily powder. But actually the whole back of the paper is filled with ads.
Did you guys see that the Hobbit fees are increased?
Is there any...
one.
Good.
We might want to look into that one.
Is there any that you guys like take an interest in so that I can read it out loud for our audience?
Definitely the missing patriarch.
In a shocking turn of events, Satyr Theon Hewn, a young patriarch of the Hewn family, has disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Reports indicate that the Hewn family manor was reportedly raided during the night, with signs of a struggle and no trace of the missing patriarch. Unfortunately, the City Watch authorities, overwhelmed by the pressing crisis, that the city is facing are unable to allocate sufficient resources to launch a thorough investigation. Oh, that says through, but I meant to say thorough investigation. Any other ones that pique your interest?
Duke Van Thempir in support of Beldroth is interesting given the
Council
current
still
climate.
undecided. Duke Thalamba Van Thamper has publicly endorsed Talmir Beldroth for the position of Marshal of the Flaming Fifth. Despite her support, the council remains divided, with many voices yet to be heard on the matter. Quote from Duke Van Thamper, Talmir Beldroth exemplifies the strength and integrity needed to lead the Flaming Fist in these turbulent times. His dedication to upholding the law and order in Baldur's Gate is commendable. I fully support his candidacy for the position of Marshal, and I trust that the council will make the right decision in appointing him to this crucial role. I also want to draw you guys' attention to City in Lockdown. Crucial for our safety. Baldur's Gate remains in lockdown as officials deem it necessary for public safety. No refugees are allowed within the city walls without proper documentation. This measure is a part of an effort to maintain order amidst the ongoing refugee crisis and rising tensions within the city. So, you gotta have refugee papers in order to get into the city. You have to, like, go to the courthouse and be deemed a legitimate refugee in order to, like, have residency in the city.
Gotta have that
Residency,
visa.
quote. Yeah, it's a visa.
I think Lun will be drawn to that second last one there about the refugee relief.
Duke Portier of Baldur's Gate has taken a proactive step in addressing the plight of the Elturian refugees by founding the Confraternity of Refugee Relief. This secular organization aims to mobilize resources and raise funds to provide essential humanitarian aid to those displaced by the recent upheavals in Elturel. With an emphasis on community, solidarity, and practical assistance, the confraternity marks the significant civic effort to alleviate suffering and support the resettlement of refugees within Baldur's Gate.
Maybe that's a better solution for Stannis instead of helping the smugglers. At least there's some structured aid in place.
How many people do you think are on that waiting list?
How many people you think got out of Elturel?
Yeah. Never a dull moment here, then, eh?
Well, the information on paperwork is interesting. I was under the impression no refugees at all would have been let in.
Perhaps if there's some with means, some with money that can contribute to the city, they'd be open to taking that.
Is getting papers like a reasonable, like feasible thing for refugees to do, or is it like a gotcha where it's like the courthouse is in the city, so you can't get there?
So, at first, it was a legitimate thing to do, right? However, they closed the gates. So now it's a gotcha, right? It wasn't 4 days ago, right? So for the past 10 day, 6 of those 10 days when people were showing up, they had legitimate legal methods, but now the gates are closed. However, there are still people coming in through the harbor. Like you guys saw a bunch of boats. So
It looks like poor Alyssa. She might not be seeing her family for quite a while.
Well, if she's from the city, she may.
She's gonna have to prove it.
Her family's from the city. She's from Elturel. I mean, she wasn't born there, but her residency was in Elturel.
Oh.
She lived with her husband in Elturel.
Even if we do want to help her finding her, it's like finding a needle in the world's
Stack of
dirtiest
needles.
stack of needles, but
Hey, in the needle stack.
I do fear we have more important things to tend to at the moment, but come on now. Let's not end the night on a sour note.
Absolutely. So you guys make your way towards Vin's shop. Have any of you been here before?
Has she ever invited us here before?
That is a great question. I want to say, what do you call it? Well, if Ophelia is interested in like armor and stuff, then maybe she would have invited Ophelia out to show
okay.
her, to like show off some of her like stuff that she's done or whatever.
Cool. Okay, so for Ophelia, you've been here before. So in the steeps, you guys finally made it on a steep hill. You will see a weathered sign hanging above a modest shop. The sign once proudly read Vin's Armor, but the armor has been crossed out and painted underneath of it in red paint. It says Bobbles and Brokerage. So now it reads Vin's Bobbles and Brokerage. The building itself is squat, 2-story structure with an uneven stone facade. The lower level that houses the shop has a large, slightly grimy display window and a sturdy door. Through the window, you can see a mix of armor pieces and assortment of random items. The shop front is adorned with faded paintwork and a few cracked stones. Above the shop, a small balcony juts out from the second floor. The wooden railing is chipped and splintered. The apartment window above reveals a warm light and has a few withered potted plants hanging from the balcony. It is a shop, and the apartment that Vin lives in is above it. But currently, the sign hangs a little crooked on the window that says it's closed.
Yeah, I guess Vin. Vin gets out like.
Oh, there's
like
stairs. You know,
keychain.
there's stairs around back that leads to your.
So she.
Because you don't want
definitely take the
people
back way.
going into your and then having access to your house. So your house is around back.
Yeah, she would for sure go the back way then.
Okay, yeah.
So she'll take you guys around back.
Before
Yeah.
she leaves, Ophelia fixes the closed sign so it's straight.
Sure.
I like that. That's so Ophelia.
So a narrow wooden staircase at the back of the shop leads to the apartment above. You all climb up the narrow. These are pretty narrow steps for you human. I mean, Ophelia has to like turn to her. Ophelia, do you have a tail?
Yes.
You do? Okay, you have to hold your tail and turn sideways to like make your way up the stairs. And they creak under your weight.
Perhaps one at a time.
Well, if Vin didn't build these, I might not trust him.
So you just you get out a key and open the door, Vin?
Yep.
Awesome. You open the door. Low ceilings with dark wood beams give this space a warm, cavernous feel. The living area is sparsely furnished with a worn couch, a wooden coffee table, and a small fireplace. A woven tapestry of a subterranean landscape hangs on one wall. The modest kitchen, functional with a small table and a few chairs, has pots of dozens of cultivated mushrooms on the windowsill. Oh, you guys don't see that? The entire place is illuminated by Snurfeblin glowstones, which are like a special kind of rock that is cultivated in the underdark that are placed around the house to provide an illumination that's like a soft green or blue light. However, when you open the door, then you dodge out of the way as a pickaxe slams into the floor at your feet. As you will see, Gazd, your husband. Gazd, is that it? Gazd?
Yeah, gassed.
Gazd, okay. You will see Gazd, your husband, try to attack you because he thinks you're a thief. But you dodge out of the way. Let me show you a handout of this guy.
Yeah.
He is a portly, gray-skinned, hairless gnome with... female deep gnomes are the only ones with hair. Male deep gnomes don't have hair. So he's bald, he don't have eyebrows, but he has these rosy cheeks and sharp blue eyes. And he slams his pickaxe onto the floor and then looks at you. Then?
Oi, what are you doing?
He
You recognize your own wife?
He drops the pickaxe and runs in and just grabs you and gives you this huge hug. And he keeps saying, Miena, Miena, you're home, Miena. So Miena is Snurfeblin for my love. That is what he calls you.
Yeah, I feel like she'll say something like, yeah, Miena this, Miena that. Come on now, come on. Let me introduce you to some of these lads. I know you've met Ophelia.
He grabs your face and looks at you in your eyes. And he says, I was so worried, Miena. I heard about what happened to Elturel. I thought I'd lost you.
Oh. And she then like, it kind of like washes over and she's like, so you heard then? Right.
Are you all right? What happened?
I'm fine. It was... Well, later, we'll sit down and we'll have a proper chat about it, all right? But I think for now, I should cook up some dinner for these lads, yeah?
I might have some leftover violet cap stew that I made.
Let me just take a little look at it, yeah? I'm hungrier than the rest of them. I just want to have a little before we give it to the rest. And she runs over to the...
Oh, you will see his leftover pot is fucking nasty. It's burnt for some reason. It's like, it looks like a slime, like a fucking ooze creature.
When you burn the food, but it's still cold.
So it looks nasty. But he will sort of, be like, hello, I'm Gast. And he like bows towards all of you timidly.
You're all right. I'm August. I guess technically your wife's boss. I guess this isn't usually how like boss dinners go. It's casual tonight. We're off duty.
Maybe we can make you some mushroom tea.
I'm all right, thanks. Take a load off. I understand you thought your wife was dead for the past couple days.
And then she was like, whatever.
Yeah.
He does sit down. He's like sweating.
Darling, she calls like from the kitchen. Darling, I'm just going to do a little reheating, all right? Meanwhile, she's like getting out like all new ingredients.
All new
and, like,
ingredients.
shit up,
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah, so it is like he likes to, I don't know about you personally, but he likes to preserve like Snurfeblin deep gnome culture. So that's why kind of like your house kind of looks the way it does and stuff. But he loves mushrooms. Like basically they in Snurfeblin culture, they have like a mushroom that literally tastes like everything. And you have cultivated some yourself on it. Like you have enough mushrooms right now to make like a 4-course meal just out of mushrooms.
Alright, that is what she will do.
Okay. Why don't you make a cooking utensils check? What use whatever kind of skill you want. Oh, probably your intelligence, since you're like, that's your one.
Yeah, you said I could use intelligence, so I will.
Knowing the recipe and how long to cook stuff.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Oh, boys, we're eating good tonight.
That is a 24. So you make whatever you can start cooking for them. What is the rest of you doing while this is happening? So this is a deep gnome house, and it is furnished as such. There's only like a couch and a chair and a coffee table, and they're all sized for gnomes. And like I imagine Ophelia has to hunch over because the ceiling is so low. This is Gandalf in the Hobbit house, right?
Yeah, exactly.
London would be looking at all of this with great interest and ask, what's the husband's name? Gadst?
Gazed.
Gadst. We'll ask him, these are all relics and things from the Underdark.
He nods. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vin and I, he'll say Vin when he's talking to you. Vin and I we've traveled for many years back and forth from the Underdark.
Okay. say I've ever been. I couldn't imagine being so far underground.
You get used to it after a while. It's home to me.
Sure, it's quite lovely.
Oh, absolutely beautiful, and everything around could kill you in an instant.
Not all too different than up here, I suppose.
Tannis probably raised an eyebrow as he's looking at this painting of the Underdark. And
Yeah, oh,
this
yeah.
is not lovely at all.
Yeah. And there's little statuettes of like fucking displacer beast or whatever kind of underdark creatures there are. They have like little statues of them and stuff around the house. Just like it's underdark decor.
It's underdark chic.
Chic, yeah.
Can I make my way to where the balcony was?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm probably just gonna like step out onto the balcony and
so
make
that
sure
you
it
can
holds
stand
my
up
weight.
straight.
But yeah, I want to stand up straight.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor, so I can like have my back straight.
Cool.
And just like inspecting the one of the glow runes.
Yeah. So the glowstones do this by themselves. They're just magic. They're like a common magic item type shit, but it's just a rock. I'm sure Vin has a handful of them just in her little rock pouch. They're commonly found in the Underdark.
Ludden would take a look at that, and then on the ones that Vin had attached to his bow, and start to like make the connection of.
Yeah,
the
ones on your bow are different.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they're like carved with a rune, right, Vin? That's what you said you do. You like carve a rock with a rune.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's like a different kind of rock. These deep gnomes in the rocks. It's like
Yeah, London is like, what in the Alice in Wonderland is fucking going on down there?
Yeah, pretty much. I think. Oh, Ophelia, what are you doing?
She's like August Elderfire. She's sitting down on the ground, kind of trying to probably find the lowest point
Okay.
in the house if there's like one dip
Sure.
in the floor.
Sure.
Well, there is now.
Yeah, there is. It creaks under your weight. There's this awkward silence as Gast is staring at you guys, and then you're staring back at him. So he's like, "I'm gonna go check on Vin," and he wanders back into the kitchen. And I think he'll talk to Vin and be like, "Miena, I was so worried about you. I'm glad you're all right."
I wasn't expecting the news to spread so quickly. I wanted to lay it on you a little softer, but there was a lot that happened. Elturel is well, I'm sure you've heard the gist of it. There was some calamity. I don't know. It was like the sun that hung over the city. It collapsed into darkness. Cultists in the streets killing innocent folk. I tried to help, but I was such in a panic myself. I'm honestly lucky I got out there alive. I mainly have August and the others to thank.
He will be taking what you're saying, and he gets a little emotional about it. Obviously, you're describing like fucking atrocities that occurred. And he will, I think he'll just go to hug you and hold you. You got your hands like covered in dish or whatever, cooking stuff. So you kind of give him the open hand hug. But he just says, I've got you now, Miena. You're safe.
Yeah, Vin will stop what she's doing for a moment and embrace him. Oh, it's so good to see you.
So good to see you. I was hoping you would come back. He like bashfully sort of digs his foot into the kitchen floor. I told you I would be working on something for you, and it's almost done. Not quite, but almost.
Did you follow the blueprint? Like I said.
I I may have freestyled a bit.
her eyebrow goes way up off of her forehead.
I took what you've been teaching me, and I think you're gonna like it.
All right. She has a look of skepticism, but she'll be like, "You're always good at learning. We'll see later, all right? I'm excited as well.
Cool.
But let's serve this up to the lads first,
Yep.
yeah?
Yep. So
And she has like maybe like a little appetizer that she made, or salad or something, like mushroom salad, and she'll hand it to him to bring out.
perfect. There's one coffee table, and he sort of sets out. Oh, there's actually a kitchen table, but it's way too small for all of you. So he'll just sort of hand out little bowls of the mushroom salad. What's
Is
the
it good?
yeah? What is it good, and what's the main course?
Well, since I rolled the 24, we're gonna say it is very good. And I think the main course will be like, I don't know, like a steak dinner, but it's like all mushrooms. It's like there's a big like portobello style mushroom
Yes,
that you're supposed to
yes.
cut into like a steak, and it has like a nice like reduction, like a nice sauce on it.
Perfect.
And then there's like little like fried or like baked mushrooms
Oh,
on the side.
Perfect. Vin and Gats bring all this out to you guys.
Yep.
Nice break from the beef stew we've had the last long 10-day.
Looks incredible as always, Vin.
Thank you.
Full of
What do you think,
surprises,
David?
aren't you? You're full of surprises, aren't you, Vin? Quite the magician with those cook's utensils.
Well, I've been cooking a while. When I was younger, I often had to cook for myself, and well, eventually I learned how to do it good. Well, please, enjoy.
I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised considering what you made on a shoestring budget with, 30 refugees on the road, so.
I actually, I never cooked for that many. I suppose the quality does go down a bit, but it was it's just an extension of what I know. Little seasoning, little sauce goes a long way.
All right, so you guys enjoy your meal. It's very good. It's getting late. I think, is there anything specific that you want to do here?
Yeah, I'm gonna, as we're eating and talking, I'm just gonna bring up, so Vin, you used to sell armor from here. Is the armor business not booming? Or...
Well, it's a bit of a long story. Goes back to me meeting Gats, to be honest, but business has definitely been better. Especially since I joined the Fist. Well, I haven't had much time to make the armor like I used to, but I hope that someday I can get back to it. But Gats has been taking to my lessons, and I reckon he's been doing all right. But one Smith Neblin isn't enough to run a shop in this busy part of town. I'm lucky that as a Fist I can scrape up enough for the rent.
Gast will say, the shop, it has been slow. We've switched gears from armor to pawn shop. But we still sell some armor. Some of Vin's original pieces.
I'm hesitant to let some of those ones go, but let's hope that business gets back on track before I have to sell them all.
We're managing, Miana. We always do.
Yeah, and you can see that like kind of like strained look on her face, but she like puts a hand on his, and like it'll be all right type of thing.
Anything else? Okay.
I think that's it for now.
Okay, do you want to go see your surprise because it's in the shop? It's not ready. He'll tell you it's not ready. He'd rather you see it when it's ready. But you can see it now if you want. You own the shop.
I feel like Tanis really wants to see it.
No, Tanis is okay being patient and waiting. Will is not. No, we can wait if you want to. If Vin wants to wait, then obviously we wait.
All right. Suppose we can wait for now. I'm back in the city for the time being, so well, let me know when you're done, Gats. Can't wait to see it.
He will. Are you gonna stay the night here? You can. You don't have to stay at the fifth station. If you don't want to.
Yeah, Vin will probably stay here.
Yeah,
for the night.
none of you are required to stay at the fifth station. It just has a barracks.
There enough room for us here?
No.
There's not
No.
even enough room for us to sit.
No,
Yeah.
certainly not. It's only a one-bedroom apartment. It doesn't even have a bathroom. It has a chamber pot.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to impose. At least I can make my way back to the sea wall or whatever it's called, sea tower.
As
You are
lovely as it was to
Station. It's okay.
as lovely as it was to see you again, Gast, I'm afraid I'll have to go back to the station for the night.
Yeah, he nods in agreement and then recollects in his mind, and we get the image of like a crude drawing. You know how sometimes when you see people's thoughts in cartoons and shit, it's like a more primitive version of reality. He's like seeing this giant dragon woman laying on his tiny bed and it's destroyed. and he thinks about that for a minute and he's like, oh no, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, schematics are just not computing here. Well, Vin, tomorrow do you want to meet us? Sounds like we'll all go back to the Eastway station then.
Right, I'll meet you there. Can you handle the cadaver without me, or should I come extra early?
I mean, I think. Oh, with Candulhallow, yeah. I think you can just meet us at the Eastway with Visage if you'd like. But we will be at Candulhallow tomorrow morning.
All right, I'll try to meet up with you there. But till then, yeah, all of you have a good night. I think we've all earned at least one good night's rest. We'll see what tomorrow brings, but yeah.
All right.
Thank you for the meal and your hospitality.
It was so nice to meet all of you. And seeing you again, Ophelia.
Ophelia curtsies.
Okay. All right. Then we'll stay with her husband. And they will probably talk more about what happened and sort of...
Yeah, she'll tell him, she'll tell him everything.
Yeah, and sort of... It unsettles him, but also puts his mind at ease a little more. He'll tell you that the shop's not doing great right now. But you are scraping by. Okay. What would the rest of you like to do as you leave Vin's armor crossed out, Bobbles, and Brokerage?
Just right back to the station.
Yeah, as we pass by the Heapside, Tanis is gonna split off and he's gonna head home. Too.
Yeah, I figured as much. All right, so the Ophelia, London, and August head back towards the 5th station, and Tanis breaks off to go quote-unquote home. And the camera will follow Tanis. Tanis, you make your way through Heapside. And nestled within the sprawling chaos of Heapside lies a charming little enclave known affectionately as Little Burrow. This quaint neighborhood consists of just one narrow cobblestone street lined with modest homes and apartments, each slightly smaller than the human-sized buildings surrounding them. The circular doorways and lower windows and carefully tended gardens give the area a distinct halfling charm. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. At the end of the street, a small flight of stone stairs leads down from street level to a quaint 2-bedroom apartment. Your quote-unquote home. The entrance is framed by ivory-covered brick, and a lantern hangs above the door. And you will notice something new that you haven't noticed before. There is a small candle that burns in the window that's currently lit.
I'll go to try to push the door open.
It's
locked?
no.
It's open?
Yes. So you open up the door, and inside, the apartment is snug and homey with low ceilings and worn furniture, and the shelves crammed with knickknacks and books. You will see 2 people in this apartment. It's not as small as Vin's, by the way. You can stand up proper in this home. You're just, really close to the ceiling. There is 2 halflings, an older man with graying hair. Hold up, I gotta find their handouts. Yes. An older man with graying hair, big ears, big nose, and a long gray beard, and a woman, halfling. She has like a darker gray hair that's put into a braid. This is what they look like. And you will see that the woman was cooking in the kitchen with a worried look on her face. And when you walk in, she literally drops a dish that she was holding, and it shatters on the floor. Her hands cover her mouth in shock, and her eyes begin to well up with tears as she just bum rushes you.
As she reaches me, I'm gonna pick her up and like pull her to my chest and be like, "It's fine. I'm alive. I know."
My dear boy, you're alive. She's crying profusely. The other figure, then that is Perlette. And you will see Milo was sitting in his favorite armchair, and he stands so quickly that the armchair topples over. And he hurries over to you, his eyes sort of misty, and he wraps his arms around the 2 of you.
Yeah, I'll drop to a knee then and put Perlette down and hug Milo and just...
Milo will say, "Tanis, thank the gods you're safe. The rumors we heard, we couldn't bear the thought of losing you."
Not to bore you with a long story, but most of the rumors are probably true, what you heard, but we don't need to get into that now. It's good to be home for a moment.
Perlette is still sobbing, holding you so tightly you can you can't breathe. And she'll look you in your eyes and she'll say, "I've had that candle lit in the window ever since I heard the news of Elturel. I hoped and prayed it would guide you back to us, and it did."
It was the candle, Perlette. That's what brought me home. But it's thank you. It's good to be loved.
She holds you back and wipes her tears from her face, and then suddenly Mother takes over. And she's like, "Are you hurt at all? Are you hungry? Tanis, you look thinner. Have you been eating at all? Those darned flaming fist cooks don't know how to make a proper meal." She then begins fussing over your clothes and looking you over for any injuries.
Perlette, I'm fine. Luckily, we have a gifted cook who feeds us good. Although she did feed me a mushroom that she tried to pass off as a steak, but it was good nonetheless. Plus, I don't know what you're gonna cook in now that you just shattered your favorite bowl.
She looks over. Oh my! I did.
Pick up a new one in the market for you tomorrow.
Oh. She begins trying to clean it up, and Milo will sort of place a hand on her shoulder. It's okay. He'll clean it up.
I'll walk over, like, the sitting area, and imagine has like 2 armchairs that are halfling size and then a third human size chair, and I'll just like, sit in the one off human sized chair in the corner and just like kind of start to doff my armor and take off my boots.
I think Milo is going to begin asking you questions about like what happened, are you okay, you know, stuff.
I'll fill him in. Yeah, we don't need to go over the whole story again, but yeah, like I'll give him the details, you know, of like the destruction and the maybe leave out some of the more perilous things about how I almost died to a knoll, so they don't have to worry too much.
Okay, cool. I think Perlette really wants to give you some food, but you just
I'll let her. I will make myself uncomfortably full to make Perlette happy.
Okay, perfect. So she brushes your hair out of your face and is like, "Oh, you must be exhausted. You've been through so much. Here, eat." It's actually like leftover roasted chicken with potato. It's like gangster as fuck. Like you are eating good tonight. While you're eating, Perlette says, the neighbors have been very kind trying to keep our spirits up. Jane Applewillow came by every day to see if you had made it back. You remember Jane, don't you? She's around your age. Yeah. She was very worried. I'm sure she'll be pleased to know you're all right.
I'll pop over for a visit when I find the free time, hopefully tomorrow.
Milo will sort of rub his nose and say, she's a very nice girl, Tannis.
I know she is, Milo. You've been trying to set me up for years.
Dude, this parent shit is way too close to home, bro. This is like white parents everywhere, like to a T. My God.
Yeah. Perlette is like, she's single, you know, and just sort of lets it go by. This poor halfling girl. Awesome. Okay.
I'll find it in my busy schedule. I do have to report to drop off some evidence in the morning, so it probably won't be, and that's assuming that I don't get new orders.
Of course.
I don't know how long I'll be in the city for, to be honest. They may be sending off. Who knows where the fist will send us.
Perlette will be like, oh, you can't leave after you just got here. You know, that kind of thing.
I'm here now, so.
They will make you feel welcome and loved and missed. Is there anything specific you wanted to do?
No, I feel like I was longing for home after seeing Vin get a warm welcome from her husband.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you did get it for sure. So we fade out on Tannis's warm welcome home and out of Little Burrow, and we follow the other the remaining Fist as they go to the Eastway Fist Station. As you approach the Fist Station in the Eastway district, the building stands out with its imposing stone facade, sturdy and weathered by years of service. Walls rise up around the rear of the compound, enclosing a training courtyard. The structure is fortified by thick wooden doors reinforced by iron bands. Above the entrance, a large wooden sign emblazoned with the symbol of the Flaming Fist. 2 banners of blue and red flank the door on either side. You guys walk in. It's not locked. Also, Tannis, that's why their door wasn't locked, because they were really hoping that you would come home. Which is super dangerous, but they were just really wanted you to be home. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of what the layout of the Fist Station is. So there's a entry hall, and then there is a hall that runs down the whole length of the building. All other rooms go off of that main hall. But the entry hall has like the walls adorned with banners of the Flaming Fist, and there's a desk that is usually manned by a scribe. There's a dude, his name is Scribe Hubert Bing. He's a gnome, and he's like super anxious, but he's the one where if a normal person walks in, they're like, hey, I need to talk to the cops. He handles that, as well as like, you know, making sure everybody's good. There is an armory. It's located right next to the entry hall. There's a mess hall across from the barracks. And the barracks consists of several connected rooms lined with bunk beds. Each bunk has a small chest at the foot for personal belongings, as well as a few wooden chairs, communal wash basins, and a shared clothing racks scattered between the rooms. So it's just like a series of rooms that have bunks in them. None are assigned to any specific company, but, you know, if you stay here regularly, you have your bunk. You know what I mean? In the back is Zodge's office. There is an interrogation room right next door to stairs that go down to the cellar where there are holding cells. And there's a training yard in the back room, or like in the back, and a briefing room where like Zodge might brief the whole of the Flaming Fist on stuff. It's like a, what do they call that? An office, meeting.
Boardroom.
Yeah, boardroom. Thank you. Okay. What do you guys want to do? It's nighttime now.
Yeah, I guess we just bed down for the night, eh?
Yeah, like Scribe Bing isn't even at his station because it's fucking nighttime. It's like sleepy by time.
Oh, it's good to be home. Let's definitely get some rest.
Is there a bathhouse or showers here or something?
There are wash basins in the barracks.
Yeah, I think London would want to head that way.
Okay. There are a couple of fists that are like nondescript, that are resting right now. However, you do recognize a couple of the fists. Yeah, so there's this dude. Where's the roster? Let me find the roster real quick. Here we go. I don't have it on there. Fuck. Wait, so where is it then? Oh yeah, here it is. There's this half-orc. His name's Gauntlet Drover. He's third company under 10 coin, which is a manip. And he's scarred all to hell. And he is currently like in an arm wrestling match with Fist first rank Elena Ashton, who is second company under Kosun, which is another manip. And there's just, there's just some NPCs in here. There's this dude named Fist Torch. He's in first company under Kosun, and his gauntlet is Gauntlet Greenbottle, August. And he's a gray tiefling that has wild magic and has no control over it and catches fire to everything.
God. I bet no one wants to bunk next to him.
But I guarantee you this is going to occur. So when you guys come in London, you find your bunks. You all have a room, I'm sure. You find your bunk, you put your shit down, you start to go get ready to take a bath. Ophelia, when you walk in, you pass this dude. He's in 5th company under 10 coin.
Oh, no.
He is this dashing, black-haired rogue, right? And when you pass by him, you will have a history with this gentleman. He flirts with you so much. Like, he wants this Dragonborn lady so bad. So I imagine when you pass by him, he'll say, well, this is quite a surprise.
I've been saying we need an HR department for years.
Yo.
I feared I'd never see your golden beauty again, Ophelia.
Well, despite the best efforts of the gods and cults, I am turned. Not for you, but it is good to see you again.
When I heard about Elturel, my heart mourned, thinking you might be caught in it. I rest assured, knowing you are safe now. He's like a Shakespearean lover. You know what I mean? Like he goes to the plays all the time.
I think she is going to be very courteous, but very much like, no. Like, you're very sweet, but no.
As you're going to leave, he'll be like, maybe once things settle down a bit, maybe you and I could grab that drink I asked you about a few 10 days ago. You never really got back to me on that.
Well, if you're offering to buy drinks for the same, what's the second company, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you're offering to buy drinks for second company, I suppose I wouldn't turn that down.
I was
You
hoping
guys do need.
maybe just never mind. Okay. August, you will you know that Greenbottle usually stays in a bunk, like he does stay at the fifth station, and he stays in a bunk past where you're at, so you would have to go find him if you wanted to talk to him.
Yeah, like if he's still up this late.
It's not super late, but everybody's
okay.
in the bunks. You know what I mean? Like they're about to go lights out here in a little bit.
But yeah, I guess I'll just, as we're walking through Ophelia, London, have a good night. You've earned it.
And you're gonna go seek out Greenbottle? Gauntlet
Yeah.
Greenbottle? Okay.
But before we all go our different ways,
Yeah.
can we have like one quick conversation?
Sure.
Feel like London, just Ophelian and August would have said something, maybe as we're going in before we actually get in or on our way there. Can you believe how lucky Vin is? It seems like her husband really, truly loves her.
Yeah, it's a rare thing.
Gask is a lovely fellow, and quite a lucky one at that.
Such a lovely home there.
It's not anything personal with him. It's just every time I hear his name, I think Grazit, and it's fucking with me. And I can't see him as that.
Sexy demon lord?
the demon prince of Lost.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Look, I didn't
Like the
name
total
him, okay?
opposite.
But how's the happiness? It all seems so out of place here.
Well, perhaps it's not always on display, but if you know where to look, you can find a good life here. Maybe one day, Rose, and she'll give him a little nudge.
I'll rub the tattoo on his neck, feeling a bit lonely in that moment, and then, well, I'm going to take a bath or whatever. No, I think that roguish gentleman wants to talk to you.
Okay.
I mean, Romeo's single and ready to mingle with London's. There are options out there.
Beggars can't be choosers, baby.
Just grow 2 feet and scales, please. And he would totally be into that. So, August, you head towards where Greenbottle usually stays. He is an elderly halfling. He has a white beard. He's getting old, and he's just settling down. Like he's about to lay down and just like get he's an old man, so he's like getting his bedtime, right? But when you walk in, he lurches up out of the bed and is like, "Great Scott, you're alive!"
Indeed. Figured I'd come by and let you know. It's been rough out there the past 10 days.
He'll stand up and go to approach you, and he just puts an arm on you and or a hand on you, and he'll say, "August, my boy, you look worse for wear, but you're a sight for sore eyes."
And yeah, like the stress and the wear and tear of this journey that he hasn't been trying to like let show to his subordinates is just melting away very quickly here. and he's like, yeah, it's things are about as bad as I've ever seen them. And
Whatever could you mean?
between the refugees and the whole city getting destroyed and reason to believe that Baldur's Gate might share the same fate sooner rather than later.
I heard. Where's Roland? And the other companies? Did they make it back?
Afraid not.
What about the Marshal?
It's just second company under Man Roland.
You're saying the Marshal and Roland are both gone? He sinks back down into his bed.
I know what to do.
God.
I know what to do when it comes to petty criminals and murders in the street, but there's nothing in the book about this. I'm flying by the seat of my pants, and that is not somewhere I feel comfortable.
He's just shaking his head. To lose them both. It feels like the heart of the fist has been ripped out. Roland was one of the best.
Could have used him now more than ever.
You remember that time when he pulled us out of that mess with the carrion crawlers near the docks?
Despite the efforts to forget, yes.
He did have a way with keeping a cool head when things got tough. I'm glad to see that you're all right.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say. I'm used to basing a lot of my decisions off precedent, and I don't have any of that here.
He'll say,
I don't know.
I may not be the best gauntlet in the fist, but I did know Roland. He would want us to keep fighting. So would the Marshal, to protect the city and its people.
Thank you, Fandom. I'll let you get to rest now. Hopefully a little easier with some certainty over what's happened, but
He nods, and he'll get up one more time before you go, and he'll look you sternly. You made it out, against all odds. I'm amazed by you. You make your man up proud.
still give him credit for getting me out.
Get some rest, you look like shit.
Well, at least I have an excuse. Good night.
He grumbles in an elderly manner. And is there anything else you guys would like to do tonight other than just getting some rest? All right.
Sleeping.
Absolutely.
Hard.
All right, you guys get some rest, and you wake up in the morning. And what would you guys like to do?
Let's find someone to fight. I'm just kidding. Is there food around this
The
place?
mess
Or
hall
or
is
something?
open.
Yeah.
That's right. You have a halfling cook by the name of Berta. Is her name? And she's known for her bread. But everything
Alright.
else she makes is slop.
Yeah, I'd go up to Mirthberta and get bread or whatever for myself, Ophelia, and August.
It's basically shit on a shingle.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, whatever shit they're serving that day, London won't get it for the crew.
Yep. She takes a cigarette out of her mouth and throws it into a beer mug on the counter. Just
Yeah.
a coffee
Could you
mug.
exhale that directly into my food next time? That would be just lovely.
She she has like a couple of mole that has the hairs coming out of it, and she just sort of blows it into your food, like for real.
I mean, free food is good food in London's books. He won't complain.
Cool. All right. Anything else?
I'd start to round up everyone and go to where are we going first? The morgue place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we would have found set a time to meet at the morgue.
Sure. Did Ophelia meet with Greaves?
If there is time, she
Yes,
would.
of course. You can wake up early in the morning to go talk to him. So you will know about Greaves, Quartermaster Greaves. So some positions at this station are not ranked. They are just as good as fists, but they have command over their shit, right? So they have, I guess they're like gauntlets, but Greaves is just the quartermaster, right? The scribe is just the scribe. They don't have anyone that works under them. The cook is just the cook, right? They just work at the fist station and get paid the government salary. You know what I mean? Okay. But yeah, so quartermaster, you will know that he is either in the armory or in the storage room, and he is a fucking mess. He leaves shit everywhere. However, if you touch his shit, he will get so pissed because he knows exactly where everything is. He just keeps it organized as a mess. So you approach it. He's a big dude, a human, and you can totally approach him. And when he sees you, he does say something. I have to find it.
She walks in with all the worn out shoes and bloody
Yeah.
clothes and torn up stuff from everyone. 20 days of walking.
He says, Fist Ophelia, there you are. Have you seen that Fist Rose?
Rose? Well, he brought me. This would be earlier. I believe he's still resting. Why do you ask?
He forgot to fill out the withdrawal book for his cache of arrows before he left. I was looking for them everywhere.
I'll bring it to him once I see him again. Don't worry.
He had me thinking I was going mad. He shouldn't expect you to pick up all of his slack.
No. The youngin', he just needs to learn. A gentle guiding hand to remind him when to fill out paperwork.
No, he needs to do better.
He is under my watch. I will make sure he does a better job next time.
All right, what do you need? And you can restock whatever shit.
Along with restocking, there is... she's going to ask for a satchel that is larger than the standard issue one.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to ask for any scraps of chainmail that he may have on.
Scraps or suits?
Just little bits and pieces.
He can manage that for you.
Yeah.
Can you give me a shield too?
Oh yeah, and the...
Sure.
She will ask if he has a shield.
Yeah, emblazoned with the symbol of the flaming fist, so you can get a shield.
Perfect. So she will grab all of that, fill it out as necessary.
Yeah, filling out the paperwork.
Yeah.
He's very, very picky about the paperwork.
I never thought I would miss your controlled chaos until I saw uncontrolled chaos.
He just says that he's here's the thing. He probably knew that you guys might have been dead and does not give a flying fuck.
Wow.
Yeah,
That guy died without filling out his paperwork.
He thought that happened, and he was really mad about it. He was gonna go to your funeral and fucking make you sign something with your dead body.
He's only happy that London's alive so we can fill out the paperwork now.
Yeah, you gotta avoid this guy at all costs, London.
Sorry, let me just update my character sheet for enemies.
Okay, all right. Anything else you guys want to handle? You can meet at Candulhallow's at a certain time you could have agreed upon previously. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay, so early in the morning, before, let's say, like 8 o'clock, so it's still pretty early. An hour before you have to have your meeting with Zodge, you make your way to Candulhallow's Mortuary. This is a cold, unassuming building. There's a wrought iron gate that leads to a small cobblestone courtyard. A sign hangs above the door, an elegant filigree that calls this place Candulhallow's Mortuary. Upon entry, you find yourself in a dimly lit entry hall. The walls are dark wood panels, and a few simple benches and chairs are scattered around the room for visitors to sit. The air is cool and slightly musty, with a lingering scent of formaldehyde. A small desk sits to one side, behind which is a very old elven woman with stern features and long, flowing white hair. Let me show you her handout. What is her name? Lena. She's kind of scary looking.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's very scary looking. And she will say, Flaming Fist, huh? I'd say you were here to investigate these bodies. They're taking up space currently, and I would like to move the process forward to get them moving along.
Quite the opposite, actually. We have another body to add to the...
Another one?
Well, this is evidence, so it's not to be disturbed until...
I got that. I will put it with the rest of the evidence. The 6 other bodies we have waiting. Taking up space in my mortuary.
The Fist compensates you for your assistance in these matters, and you will be compensated for the 7th body we're going to add.
Very well, very well. Where is the body? I'll have one of my sons bring a cart around.
No need, just take us to the mortuary, and we'll put it there ourselves.
She kind of gives you like a confused look, like, you're here to bring me a body, but there is no body. Like, this is kind of weird.
Okay, I can drop the body here if you want.
I can have one of my sons bring a cart around. I said that.
We've taken steps to magically contain the body, and it can be released in a place of our choosing.
I see. Very well. Come along. She will take you guys through the mortuary to a dimly lit, windowless stone chamber. It's surprisingly cold, and you will see a dozen stone slabs are positioned equidistant around the room. Atop the slabs are several bodies, either in simple wooden coffins or shrouded in cloth. Wheelbarrow carts used to transport the bodies are lines against the wall, as well as a like heavy fucking double door. That is where they bring the carts in from around the outside. She will lead you over to an empty table.
All right. Go ahead.
London would lean over to Vin and just say something in her ear like, Vin, I don't know about you, but this place kind of gives me the creeps.
You could slide that again.
Okay. You want to release this body, Tannis?
Should we place the pendant on the slab?
I was actually gonna hold it out and just like kind of say like, can you just hold this for me for a second, Gauntlet?
Mm-hmm. I'll take it.
And as he's holding it and I'm holding it, I vanish for a second. And he's just holding the chain, and in my little room.
Yeah. It smells so bad, so bad.
I should have brought some incense in here.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
by the
smells
gods, this is
so
awful.
bad. But, you know, it's comfortable temperature in here, and there's no flies, but you can definitely, this body is stiff.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab. I'll try to like start to like try to pick him up, and just like rigor mortis has set in, and
Yeah,
it's not
he's
that
like a
easy.
statue.
So I'm just like gonna grab one of his wrists,
Yeah.
and then I pop back into the material plane
Yes.
in just like 5 feet away.
I'll imagine
And then
that just the body just is on the table. That just
And,
manages. It just worked out that way.
That's fantastic.
the-
I'll grab my pendant back. Thanks, appreciate it.
Before
I'll
we
pass
continue,
an entire block of incense to Tannis.
Yeah, I'm gonna need those.
yeah, before we move forward, I did want to mention, just because London made a comment to Vin,
Yeah.
London will notice that Vin is like looking at the bodies on the slabs, and more than like unsettled, she looks like distracted by something, like she's thinking about something else.
Well,
and she's kind of like staring at the slabs.
I will say, the body that you look over at is, oh, they're covered. It's covered by a cloth. That's right. Never mind.
Okay. Oh, that would have
Yeah,
been
never mind.
interesting.
I would have
But
said
yeah,
something like that.
regardless of whether the bodies are covered or not, you see,
They are
yeah,
all
London
covered.
will see Vin just kind of like she's thinking about something, like like maybe slightly unrelated.
Won't press right now. More interested in the disappearing and reemerging
Reappearing.
of.
So is Leylena Candulhallow. She is a little. She's a magic user, so she's not like completely taken aback. But she is sort of startled by the whole affair, and she will try to play it really cool. And she'll take 2 gold coins out of her side satchel, place them on the eyes, and cast Gentle Repose on the body.
Thank you, and I suppose it might be some time before Fist is officially dispatched to investigate, so...
If you would please tell your superiors, I would really like to move the process along.
I mean, can we do some investigating now, and if we can take that information back to them?
Please.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll just start going around.
Cool. She will show you
Well-
where the bodies are. There are 2 things that you need to look at: the bodies themselves and their personal effects. She will just take the cloth and uncover one of the bodies, and you will see carved into the flesh of this corpse is dozens of draconic symbols, almost identical to the ones that you have seen, with little glyphs and sigils. She will uncover all 6 bodies. And they all have, oh, it's not gold pieces, they're copper pieces. They will all have copper pieces placed over their eyes. All the bodies have been sliced into with a sharp knife or a razor. These grisly ritual carving are mostly in draconic characters, but there are also pentagram symbols, glyph circles, weird stuff like that. The Candulhallow lady, will say that identification was found on each of the bodies, but only one of them was a local. So we have been in the process of locating family or next of kin to notify them. But we've turned up not much.
I mean to say the rest are refugees?
She doesn't know. She just hasn't had any luck finding anyone in the family. The first body to arrive is Edmau Sarnaster. What's that? He lived in Heapside. He has an elven wife and son that survive him. These deaths appear very brutal and ritualistic in nature. It's just horrifying. She's not horrified.
I mean, the body we brought
Is the same.
that was found, quite a ways from Baldur's Gate.
Sounds like something interesting that you should investigate. She pushes her glasses up. I will draw your attention to one more thing, and she will take one of the bodies and turn it to the side, carefully preserving the coins on the thighs. And you will see at the base of the neck, there is a brand. The brand has 3 symbols on it in a triangular pattern. A hand, a skull with little blood droplets surrounding it, and a skull with a triangle around it.
Vin, is this what you were talking about yesterday? The dead 3?
Why, it most certainly is. There goes my dog.
So, if you want to, there are things that you can do to investigate these bodies, i.e. trying to read the runes, right, the symbols on the body, and doing a medicine check to, determine death and information about that. I will also allow an investigation check to see if you can notice any clues.
Ophelia will try and read any of the draconic.
Sure. Why don't you make me an Arcana check or religion?
I'll be passing out guidance.
Okay. So go ahead and do it with a guidance. Okay.
It's a D4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would help. Okay, so you get a lot of stuff. So, I mean, not a lot, but you get some stuff. So, the runes are praises to dark gods, invoking their right of dominion over the mortal plane. On all 6 of the corpses, this is an investigation of all 6 of the bodies, right? There's also personal effects that need to be looked through. But there are different phrases written out on each of them. One of them says, "All cities shall fall to darkness." Another one says, "That which was foretold in the prophecies of blood is upon us." "The spawn shall rise from mortal flesh." And "None shall live save those who offer their kin unto the heirs of Jorgal," and other similar dark shit. You also understand that most of the symbols, like you have seen before, mean nothing. Like, you would think it's some kind of ritual to, do... They're nothing.
When you said right of dominion, how is that right spelled? R-I-T-E or R-I-G-H-T?
I said right of dominion. Oh, right. R-I-G-H-T.
Wrong to both. W-R-I-T. Can London check out the damage on these bodies? Does it look like it's the same weapon that was used to kill all of them, or
Do you want to? It seems like August wants to do the same.
Yeah.
Would you like to
maybe
aid August in a medicine check?
I am proficient with medicine, so I think I know how to manipulate the body for him to have a good look or something.
Absolutely. Why don't August make a religion check with advantage?
Religion or medicine?
Medicine. I said religion. I read religion, but I meant medicine.
All right, I'll guidance myself again if I can. Wow. 9.
Okay. So
those are 2 bad rolls.
the main thing that you notice is that there are marks on the hands and ankles that suggest that the victim was tied up and tortured before death. Okay, that's basically, unless you guys can think of anything else.
Well,
I
I said
mean,
there were
did there-
personal effects.
Yeah, there's personal effects. Did you guys want to look through those?
Yeah, dig through their stuff
Okay, so
right
each
quick.
of them are labeled, and there are 6 names. Edmau Sarnaster, Wemba Oshrat. I'll post that one. I'll post them all. Eugene Broshy. I'm going to send them all at once. Oops, I guess I'm not. Eugene Brosy. Liev Beach. Anita Beach. And Annika Silverleaf. The lady did tell you and give you an address if you want of Edmau Sarnaster's family. He's the only one that appears to be from Baldur's Gate, or at least that she's found. However, if you guys want to investigate their personal effects, somebody can make an investigation check.
And these weren't the bodies.
Sorry. What'd you say?
These weren't the bodies from Inside Park, were they?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay.
She will tell you yes. I mean, if you ask her, yes, duh. Didn't you know that?
I mean, I figured there would be more than 5 bodies.
She is like, duh. Dude, what the fuck? I'm like fucking busy. Sorry, hold on. How is this happening? There. Okay, that should help. Oh, I do like that. Okay, sorry about that. What's up? Yes. Well, she's acting like, duh, didn't you know that? Aren't you here to investigate them? Right? But yes, they are from Inside Park. All of them. All 6 of them. Oh, is it 6? 1, 2. Yes, and Edmau Sarnaster. Yeah, 6 bodies. So did you guys want to, you said investigate who's good at investigating stuff?
Probably Vin.
Vin, yeah.
Okay. I'll assume everybody's helping, and then you want to dish out a guidance too?
Yeah, if you'll just let me spam that as
Yeah,
much as
of
possible.
course. Yeah, so Vin, advantage investigation check with a D4. What'd you get?
24.
Okay. So, you notice a couple things. Let's talk about Edmau Sarnaster first. Yes. Okay, so Edmau Sarnaster, all of his clothes are covered in blood. Basically, everyone's stuff is covered in blood. However, there is also what appears to be a couple of stains from some kind of alchemical substance. And you will know that this alchemical substance is an alkaline solution of wood ash and lime. And this alchemical is often used in tanneries to rotten and loosen the hair of hides.
All right. Yeah, I guess she'll be relaying this as she goes.
Now, that's all that you notice about Edmau Sarnaster. Then Wemba Oshrat. She just has normal clothes of Elturian style, right? So she appears to be from Elturel. The only real thing of note that you find is a wooden poker chip, a token, that was in one of her pockets. That is from the Low Lantern Tavern and Gambling Hall.
From where? Can you repeat that?
The Low Lantern Tavern and Gambling Hall.
All right.
Eugene Barassi. He also covered in blood. Nothing really of note, except for, because you rolled super high, you do notice a tiny little crumbled up piece of paper, a piece of scrap of parchment, that is in his pocket, and you pull it out and undo it, and it's a little bit bigger than the fortune cookie paper. And it says it has a hastily written address on it. The address is in Bloom Ridge.
Okay, this I think Vin will personally take it to August.
Yep.
And present it to him.
When you begin to look over Liev Beach and Anita Beach stuff, you realize they have these are Hellrider uniforms. Like, their personal belongings are fucking Hellrider clothes. You notice on Anita Beach, they have a document folded up in their, like, cloak or whatever. And you pull out this document. And it is refugee papers. I have a handout for this. Here it is. City of Baldur's Gate Bureau of Immigration and Residency. To whom it may concern, this document certifies that blank. A refugee hailing from the city of Elturel is hereby granted official entry and permission to reside within the jurisdiction of Baldur's Gate. Blah, 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 blah. This is their name, where they're from, why they are there. They are permitted to reside within the designated refugee settlements or seek accommodations, blah, blah, blah. And then it says the date of issue, which would be, and I can tell you that. The 6th of Elysius. Or Elysis.
Today's the 14th, correct?
Yeah. And it is notarized and has the seal of Baldur's Gate on it. However, I would like for you to make an investigation check or perception check on this piece of parchment.
Does it actually say, like, blank in there?
No.
Like, is it like a...
No, it's filled
okay.
out for their name. There's just more than one of these.
Oh.
Right, like you might encounter another one, so I didn't put a specific name in it. This is what the documents look like, right? But Vin, if you could make an investigation check on it for me while you're reading over this paper.
Let's see. $14.
Hold, please. Did you cast guidance on her?
If I can just be constantly doing that, yeah.
Okay. So
then 17.
that's better. These papers look pretty legit. However, the seal of Baldur's Gate, something's off about it. And then you start to really look it over. These are forged. This isn't an official city document. It just looks like one. And it's done fairly well. You didn't notice until you saw the seal of Baldur's Gate.
Maybe something to do with our Thieves Guild friends, then.
That other
Hold on. I'm
group
sorry.
that is... Go ahead.
Nope.
I was going to say that or the other group that is working to get refugees within the city.
Yeah.
The last victim is a elf, and their personal effects are covered in blood. But they include another set of refugee papers. It's Annika Silverleaf. And they also wore like pretty nice clothes, but there is an insignia of the Order of the Companion. She was a knight captain like Aradel.
Well,
More Hell Riders, more members of the Order of the Companion. I mean, we're starting to see some patterns.
I see a pattern, and I see one of these not like the others. We should find out why Edmao was targeted.
Just seemed like a random person that lived or worked in a tannery. I don't see any connection to Order of the Companion, Hellriders.
Exactly, if they're targeting Elturians, and this man was a resident of Baldur's Gate, why him?
Not to cut you off, but let's not speculate. He finds a politest way to say, let's not speculate in front of this random person.
Also, if you guys don't leave right now, you're gonna be late.
Yeah, and also that, like, we gotta get moving.
You got 15 minutes to get to the office of Zaj.
We got sidetracked with, autopsies, so.
B-plot stuff just coming in
Wait.
heavy. Sorry, Zaj.
We only have 15 minutes to get there? Oh, God. If you're not 15 minutes early, you're 15 minutes late. Let's go.
All right, you say your goodbyes to this lady. She like almost protests, like, "Hey, can I fucking get rid of these bodies?" And you guys dip out.
Not yet.
No.
We might still need them.
And you guys make your way over to Zaj. Let's take a very brief break. I know I ran like pretty late. I do want to do some more Zaj stuff before we go. Okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right. See you guys in a minute. And we're back. So, with what little time you have... Sure, all my shit's running. Yeah, we're good. With what little time you have, you rush back to the fifth station. Here's the question. Are you guys really booking it? Because I will say, you are in... Oh, I forgot to show you where it is. Candulhallows is right next to the B in Brampton. So it's actually not that far. You can probably make it in 15 minutes.
Vin's like telling everyone, wait up. Right?
You're muted, August. Brendan.
Definitely walking with purpose. Like,
Okay. Sure.
Not being casual about it.
She does not want to be late.
All right, so you guys enter the fifth station. It's a buzz. The scribe is, oh, you're alive! You know, you're making a big deal, and you're like, shut up, scribe, we got shit to do. And you make your way to the back room where Zaj's office is. As you enter, you will see Flame Zaj sitting behind his desk, and he's filling out a bit of paperwork before he leaves for the Basilisk Gate. Morning, Fist. Yeah, come in. You look sweaty.
We lost track of time this morning, but we're here.
Close the door, will you?
Close the door behind us.
He will set aside his paperwork. And he'll say, I want to begin by thanking you again for getting the intel about the fall of Elturel back to the gate. I've already sent word to the Ducal Council of the tragedy, but I need more details for my official report. What exactly happened? Can you give me a series of events as clearly as you can?
I mean, London's happy to give all the details.
I mean, we can just sort of say, we tell him everything.
Yeah.
Every single thing we know. Okay, that's fine. We don't have to go over the entire... We know what happened to Elturel. We were there, right? So as an audience, we don't need to hear about it again for the third, fourth time. You tell him everything. You tell him everything? You tell him about the cultists and the attacks on the roads, too? About the cultists? Okay. And do you tell him about the being stopped on the road by the Order of the Companion and being, like, kind of taken into custody and all that stuff? Very good. All right. He will thank you. I shall give my official report to the Ducal Council at once, but I do have other business for you. Tensions are high in the city right now. Violence is everywhere. And the whole of the Flaming Fist is stretched thin, trying to keep the city from completely falling apart, while also trying to hold itself together with the Marshal gone. Now, with the death of your Manip, Kellamvor rest his soul, and with the mess the Flaming Fist is in without the Marshal, I have decided that you will not be reassigned under the command of another Manip. You have proven yourselves as formidable soldiers, and I do not want that skill to go to waste. I will be taking command of you and your company, Gauntlet Elderfire. I want you to report to me directly.
Understood.
Now, Blaze Beldroth, the brute, over at Sea Tower, has named himself Marshal and is trying to seize the fist from within. That position should belong to Blaze Portier, and he knows it. I do not want any of you, and I repeat, any of you, getting caught in his play for power. That is why you report to me directly. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal.
On your orders, Flame.
Yes, sir.
Now, you have just mentioned cultists, and I know you mentioned something about it again last night. And your experience with this situation has given me an idea. And I have a special assignment for you and your company. Someone or something is killing off refugees. A serial killer or a coordinated effort. And with the fist spread so thin trying to keep the peace, I haven't had the manpower to launch a proper investigation or response. Your new assignment is to investigate these murders and do what you can to bring the perpetrators to justice. I can quickly brief you on the details that we know. And he'll sort of shuffle through some paperwork and pull it out. But before I do, you encountered cultists in Elturel and on the road. Now, I am not familiar with the symbol. Oh, you show him the mask, right? I imagine so,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
I forgot about that, but yes, totally right. He doesn't recognize the symbology on the mask. However, it may be connected. Are you familiar with the Dead Three?
Let's just get in front of it. We were just at Candulhallow.
Were you now?
We were dropping off the body of a victim of these cultists that we found on the road.
That's right. You told me about that.
He had these runic markings. To be honest, most of it looked like gibberish to us. But we took his body to Candulhallow to have it interred and preserved, and we found similar markings on the other victims that were there from Inside Park.
Well, it seems you know a lot more about this than I do.
We've learned all of that in the past hour.
Well, I knew that you would serve this well. I have made a great choice. You served the Flaming Fist well, son.
We can confirm your suspicions about the Dead Three.
The followers of the Dead Three, they still tend to crawl out from the shadows now and then, and they are a vermin that the Flaming Fist occasionally has to swat away. As far as the murders I want you to investigate, I will reiterate, although I am sure that you are aware, it is my duty to tell you, that 6 bodies have been dumped in Inside Park. Inside Park is located in the Brampton district, south of the Cliff Gate, and they have been dropped there over the past 10 days. And I will show you on the map where the fuck that is. It's right there, way down at the bottom, south of Cliff Gate. See that? Okay, so I will also mention that the map doesn't really show how big this park. It's like a Central Park kind of thing. It's like a little tiny fucking green dot on the map. That's not even lore accurate. I don't know why it's like that on the map. It's a literal park. But anyways, these 6 bodies found in Inside Park bear ritualistic carvings in their flesh that suggest an association with the cult of the Dead Three. However, make no mistake, these murders could be connected to the Dead Three cult, but it is just as possible that somebody is using the cult symbology as a scapegoat. With what you have discovered so far, we cannot be certain. You have... Okay. All of the bodies so far have been located in Inside Park. I would suggest that you look there for any clues. There is an old dwarf druid that maintains the park who has not yet been properly questioned. The druid is the one who found and reported most of the bodies. I would also suggest that you go to Candulhallow's mortuary, but it appears that you have preemptively beat me to it, and I commend you for it. Lastly, an associate of mine, a halfling informant by the name of Tarina, has sent word to me this morning that she has a possible lead on the murders. She would like to meet with you at the Elf Song Tavern tonight. Do you have any questions so far?
Gauntlet Elderfire, if I may speak.
Permission.
When we looked over the bodies and their personal effects, most of them seem to be connected to Elturel or Elturelians. But there is one, Edmau, that seems to be an odd duck out.
My original suspicion was that this was Dead 3 worshippers. The fact that you encountered them in Elturel and on your journey here is very troubling. It suggests a coordinated effort more widespread than expected. I suggest that you dig further into this odd duck out.
Is the Sarnaster name well known in Baldur's Gate?
No, he doesn't know it. He's not like a patriarch. He lives in the steeps, or in Heapside, I think. You have his address, so.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will tell you, you are hereby given authority to execute any responsible for these crimes as long as you have sufficient evidence. We cannot allow these murderers or cultists to gain a foothold in our city. Your mission is critical. Root out the killer or killers, uncover their plans, and put an end to their activities.
Does London's just listening silently? Does it seem like he's earnestly like, this is for the good of the city, we got to stop this blight? Or is he like,
no, these people are being fucking murdered? Yeah, he actually cares. Yeah.
There's no undertones of like, go you tools, do my bidding.
No. He's not like trying to make a political play at all, and you could that's very clear. He even said earlier, like, Blaze Portier should be the boss. He is a full Portier supporter.
Yeah. Be that as it may, I was just wondering if he was like sending us into the belly of the beast to be like, we'll just see what they find, type of thing. And
I mean, it is a little bit of that, but you guys have proven pretty fucking resourceful. Like, it's not that he doesn't doubt you at all. You know, there is no doubt in his mind that you guys can take care of this. That's why he gave you the job. He could have just easily reassigned you on a Romanup and never talked to you again. But he didn't.
I was going to say, is he like promoting August from Gauntlet to Mana?
No, because that would mean he would have more people to command. He's still the Gauntlet of your company. You're just like special unit. Right? Like now you are like a specialized Flame Zodge unit.
Sick.
Yeah.
SEAL Team 6. Let's go.
Yes.
He has organized a task force.
Yes.
The murder investigation.
Yes, that is right.
Every time there's like a government reference in this episode, you have to take a drink.
Okay, so he will also say, I have to mention that under orders of the Ducal Council, all Flaming Fist are under orders to apprehend any Hell Riders you encounter anywhere in the city, on sight. The Hell Riders have not yet been proven innocent of the destruction of Elturel and must be taken in for questioning and face judgment from the tribunal.
London would look eagerly at August.
Understood. We just want to make you aware of all the information. Hellriders are also being killed by this cult. Not to absolve them.
I
We don't
understand
know.
you have your suspicions, and I believe you. But there is no hard proof that the Hellriders are innocent. If they are responsible, they may be attempting to destroy Baldur's Gate next. In this delicate situation, we cannot afford to take chances.
Innocent until proven, or guilty until proven innocent. There we go.
I mean, it could be a bunch of Hellriders killing off Hellrider cultists. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know.
Yeah. They could have just been, not dedicated enough to the cause.
They could be disguised as Hellriders. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? You
Don't
just
listen
met
to this propaganda. It's
you
not
just.
them.
I'm just saying that he is saying, listen, we cannot take risks right now.
Have there been any Hellriders apprehended and brought to cells within the Eastway headquarters?
Am I clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Now, I have some payment for y'all, plus a little extra. And he will pull out a little folder that's leather, and he will slide it across, and it's got the stamp of the Flaming Fist on it. It's like the payment little folder thing. And he said, that's 2 platinum apiece for each of y'all for your efforts. And then he will grab from under the desk, he'll unlock a drawer, pull it out, and he'll pull out this big-ass sack of coins and slam it on the table. And he will say, now this is for the informant, Tarina. She is a damn good informant, and you make damn sure she gets this gold gauntlet.
Yes, sir.
And it's a sack of 50 gold. Now, I want all of you to stay vigilant and trust no one outside of this room. The security of Baldur's Gate is dependent on you. And I am leaving this matter in your capable hands. I've seen what you can do, so I know you can handle it. So please, spare me the details. I already have my plate full enough as it is. Report to me if you have any significant findings, or if you need my assistance. I shall be at the Basilisk Gate most of the time. Now, all of you may speak freely. Do you have any questions?
The trials for the Hellriders, are they fair? Is this actual justice that we're seeking here?
I cannot speak for the tribunal. That is Baldur's Gate proper. I am but a flaming fist, as is yourself.
Are the Hellriders being tried individually or as a group later?
He doesn't know.
Feel everything's fairly clear. We have our direction on orders.
Very good. Good luck, Fists. You're dismissed.
And we walk away.
We walk away. Yeah, I think I said everything. Okay. All right, you leave Flame Zodge's office. What now?
On your orders, Gauntlet.
Suppose we go to Inside Park first. See what we can find there. Talk to the Druid.
Okay.
Do we get the Druid's name?
No.
Flamesage said that he thinks that this cult could be using the Dead Three as a scapegoat.
You said it was possible.
Possible. It's a. Again, I will reiterate my statement from yesterday that speaking to a Hellrider to see if they had similar markings of the Dead Three on any corpses they found leading up to the destruction. Could rule that out if they never saw any of the similar markings. And my religion might not be up to par as some of you, but one of the bodies had something carved in there that sticks out. None shall live save for those who offer their kin unto Jurgle. Jurgle isn't one of the Dead Three, is he?
Wasn't it like, didn't it say like Jurgle's like successor or something?
The heirs of Jurgle.
Oh, okay, I missed that part.
Who's
I take
the-
that what it
Which
said.
is the Dead Three.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
technically
I missed the heirs of Jurgle. That part is important.
Mhm. All right, to Inside Park.
Oh, actually, one thing.
Yeah.
Before we go, hopefully you'll say, London, I have something for you. She will produce the shield.
London like puts on a like face as in like fuck, like asked you to do this and you did it, so thanks. But he's like pretty distraught by the whole Hellrider, like you need to arrest them on site, and it's like kind of out of our hands if they're like maybe tried justly. Be able to tell he's like this Hamilton person must be super close to him, and he's just like a little preoccupied by that, but he'll like give you an empty thanks and a nod. Sling it around his back.
Did you remember to fill out the paperwork this time?
Yeah, she was gonna bring it up, but seeing London in this state, she decided to politely bite her tongue.
All right. So you guys make your way through Eastway in the city abuzz with life, and you begin to make your way towards Insight Park. And to Brampton. Let me find the Brampton description real quick. The easternmost lower city neighborhood, Brampton is notoriously poor, its location making it the worst for residents seeking to serve upper city denizens, but the best for smuggling in untaxed goods from Rivington. So it's seedy. It's like the dock ward in Waterdeep, right? It's like the seedy sort of. There's lots of warehouses and stuff. It's notoriously poor. On the way to Inside Park, you walk down like the dock street, and you can see that the docks appear to be flooded with refugees. Makeshift camps and tents assembled from sailcloth and discarded crates crowd the dockside. Most of these refugees came here by boat and have nowhere else to go. Many lines of people snake towards gangplanks of ships that are docked in the harbor, each person hoping to secure passage to somewhere, anywhere. Some bartering their few remaining possessions just for a chance to leave. Among the crowd, you spot merchants and opportunists taking advantage of the refugees' desperation, selling supplies at extremely inflated prices. But you make your way to Insight Park, and as you step into a green oasis amidst the bustling city. The park is large, with lush, wild lawns dotted with vibrant flower beds and tall trees that offer generous shade. Natural pathways meander through the greenery, inviting leisurely strolls and exploration. Large, smooth stones are scattered throughout that serve as benches. And I think all of you would know about this place a little bit, because in the center of the park stands a massive, breathtaking tree of an unknown species, known only as the drawing tree. Its bark is kind of like a birch tree, where it cracks and peels like parchment, revealing a deep, sticky crimson beneath, as if the tree is bleeding. And its leaves are a vibrant mix of orange and yellow, a striking contrast to the green that surrounds it. Wooden carvings and sculptures are integrated into the landscape. The air is filled with the fragrance of flowers and the earthly scent of grass. At the back of the park, buttressed against a rocky hill that was once known as Dumper's Rock, stands... Oh, that's the other thing. You might know the history of the park, too. This Druid guy, this area used to be dumping grounds, like where people just illegally dump all their trash. However, this Druid came by and was like, this is bullshit, and magically turned it into this green, lush place. And he has maintained it ever since. This was like fucking 30 years ago or something. But Dumper's Rock, at the front of it, there is a quaint yet hardy hut made of hardened clay and sturdy timbers. The hut is home to the Druid, who created this park many years ago and has maintained it. He also created the drawing tree, or planted and grew the drawing tree. What would you guys like to do?
Suppose just walk up and knock on the door.
You walk up to this old hut. The door, kind of like Shrek's door, where it doesn't exactly cover the whole entryway. And you knock on it a couple times. You hear some rumbling. And, or grumbling, rather. And stepping out into the sunlight is this old, fucking, grumpy-looking dwarf. I think I have a handout for him. Yeah, I do. He doesn't look grumpy in this picture, but he is very grumpy. He's covered in green clothes and mushrooms and leaves stick out of his hair, with a very long white beard. And he says, "It took you long enough." And that's where we're in the session.
Oh. Torn.
Man, right before we're about to learn who did these, it was him. Look at that guy. That's the mark of a killer.
Oh, yeah.
He planted a blood tree and worshipped a ball.
On the end of his staff.
Yeah, right. He's stuffing the bodies in the tree, you know.
Yep.
This is cool. It's kind of like a little mini dragon heist where we have to do like an investigation in the city.
Well, I mean, he's literally got blood on the end of his staff where he's like stabbing his victims. You know, it's him.
Oh yeah, that is bloody.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's definitely blood on the bottom of his staff.
I did not.
He was
Second.
making
Bro, it's just from the
raspberry
tree.
jam, and you gotta muddle the raspberries, and
It's ketchup. It's
ketchup.
Please tell me ketchup doesn't exist.
Oh my god, he does have blood on the bottom of his staff. No, that's from the drawing tree.
Okay, that's fair.
That's hilarious.
Cool.
Okay, well, that is where we will end the session.